All right, rock stars, before we start this show, I need to give out a fair warning. We have the amazing, powerful Ben Hobbs on the podcast as our lead interview, and we get a little bit salty with the language. So this one is definitely an explicit podcast. We're just drinking beer, talking about everything in triathlon. He's going minimalist, and it's a really cool conversation, but he's a friend, and we're just chilling and talking like dudes, and we let a couple of the F-bombs fly and so on. And so I'm just giving you a heads up. A lot of parents allow their kids to listen to this show, and they should, and usually they're pretty clean. And but this one we got a little bit of salty language. So when we get to the Ben Hobbs interview, maybe tell them to cover their ears. It's not much. It's just enough where I just want to throw that out there. And then, speaking of salty, this episode is brought to us in part by the amazing Salt Stick. All right, you can hydrate all you want during your training, your racing, throughout the rest of the day to catch up on your fluids. But if your water does not have enough electrolytes in it, it's pretty much useless. It'll just run right through you. You got to make your water stick to you with Salt Stick. Check this out. Athletes that took Salt Stick finished a half Ironman race in an average of 26 minutes faster than the control group. In a study, research took a bunch of triathletes and gave half of them Salt Stick capsules and the other half just sports drinks. The athletes that took the Salt Stick capsules finished a 70.3, that's a half Ironman, race in an average of 26 minutes faster than the control groups. That's because it allows you to stay hydrated. It makes your water stick. You can make your water stick with Salt Stick by getting 25% off your order with discount code ZenTri25 on the website shopsaltstick.com. Now, that's only in the United States, but you can find Salt Stick in 30 countries via the website saltstick.com and using our store locator available from the top menu. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Here we go.
You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you tri-freaks and geeks, and welcome to another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon, the podcast where we try to find the quality in your training to see if you can be a better and more well-rounded person by using a little bit of Zen mixed in with your endurance. All right, we've got quite a whopper of a show today. Big news is we've got the Real Starky on the show. Ben Hobbs has gone minimalist. And he's living in an RV, in a RV park / trailer park. He kind of calls it a little bit of both. And we're going to talk a lot about how he's trimmed things down and how nice it is to not have tons of overhead. It's kind of like Small House Living, if you've been watching that TV series. And also, I've learned something new about him. My aha moment was when he said that he grew up driving around the country. I don't know if he said the entire country. Anyway, but living in an RV when he was a kid. And so he knows what he's doing, and he knows how to get it done. So it's actually a pretty cool conversation. We learn a lot of things. And he's the one behind the Starky, the Real Starky Twitter handle and TRS Radio and all kinds of cool stuff. And he and I go a long way back. He came to my house before he started the podcast, and we hung out together, and I showed him how to record a podcast. And, of course, he did it completely differently and correctly and uses way better audio gear and does the shows like really well. So it's quite full circle for him to come back on ZenTri and for us to talk. He's been on the show too. I'm trying to remember how long ago. But anyway, and also we talk about this idea of a trailer house triathlon and see if we can get any traction with that, and about pro AJ Balco, and the Island House Triathlon. We do talk about politics, but this isn't a political show, so I'm actually chopping that out, and we're just going to do triathlon stuff on this episode. Just for a timestamp, if you're going back in time and listening to the show months, years from now, this is the episode right after Trump won the election over Hillary Clinton. And that's in all the media right now, and you're getting plenty of that as you are, wherever you are. And all it seems to do is make people argue. So we're not going to talk about that. On ZenTri, if anything, I'll tell you to look inward and listen to some Zen stuff and try to stay out of arguments and be a better person by following some Zen principles. Mostly, work on yourself. You're not going to change anybody else's opinion about stuff, especially politics, and it just makes you enemies. So instead, don't try to change somebody else. There's plenty of things about yourself that you probably should be working on that aren't quite perfect. So work on those instead. Okay, let's see. Let's do a little bit of triathlon news. Oh, wait. We also have Michael Derksen, who went out and did his swim. We talked about it on a podcast or two ago. Interview with him about what he should do for his first Ironman length swim, a 2.4 mile open water swim. And he went and did it, and he comes on the show and talks about it. That'll be after the Starky interview. And he had a big change in how they were going to do it. It went from freshwater to ocean, saltwater in San Francisco Bay. Immediately. And how do you train for that? And what do you do when your world gets flipped upside down? And what are the tactics? And what are the Zen methods to keep cool and keep calm and deal with change? And Derksen is really clued in and really into this kind of stuff. So he is a great interview. He and I get along really well. So he's a lot of fun. And yeah, that's our two interviews for the show. And probably a little bit of training log at the end. But let's wait on all that for a second because we got to get to the triathlon news. Here we go. Okay, the biggest stuff in the news is some races that have been rebranded. There's a whole lot about Rev 3, some races of theirs have been changed, and I think Ironman North Carolina, they've gotten rid of the full Ironman, and now it's a 70.3. There's conspiracy theories abound about why that's going on. You can go to Slow Twitch and get all the conspiracy theories that you want over there. And we also have, I've got the presser here about Ironman 70.3 Gulf Coast. The race previously known as the Gulf Coast Triathlon in Panama, Florida, will keep Panama Beach. Is that how we say it? Panama City Beach. The Gulf Coast Triathlon will keep its historic roots and take place on Saturday, May 13th, 2017, joining the historic Ironman Florida Triathlon on one of the world's most beautiful beaches in Panama City Beach. The inaugural, when I was a kid, we used to go to Sanibel Island when we lived in Alabama. You'd go head due south and go to Sanibel Island. It was awesome. Same area, I think. And I was a little kid, man. I don't know. But the inaugural Ironman 70.3 Gulf Coast race will take place Saturday, May 13th, 2017, with general registration opening yesterday or the day before. It's November 9th. So go check that out. Wildflower is gone, and that sucks. The greatest race in all of triathlon was this thing, and I happened to have been really lucky, and I got to go when it was at its biggest. Either it was 2006 or 2007 when there was 7,500 people doing this race, and it was a half Ironman distance one day and then an Olympic the next, and that was really, really cool. I don't know if y'all can hear it. My dog is downstairs barking at a neighborhood dog. Hold on. Hey! 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 No! That dog doesn't want to hear that. Can you chill? You want to come up here? Come on. This is Kona. Come on, Kona. If you're new to the show, I'm a dog person and a cat person. And over the 10-something years or more that we've been doing this podcast, we've had many dogs come through here. Kona's the... Actually, we got Zoe downstairs. She's the latest, which actually I'm going to talk about in a minute. All right, chill, dude. We're reading triathlon news for the people. They don't want to hear all this. So then, All right, are we back? Oh my gosh, now ZenTri nurse, the beautiful and incredible ZenTri nurse, Emily, my endurance athlete wife, just called. Had to work with her for a second on the phone, scheduling dinner. All right, we're back. So we have, Wildflower. I did the half Ironman, and I didn't know triathlons were that hard. That thing is insane. And it was amazing, and the lake was nice and full. And the next day we sat out in front of our RV and yelled at people with a megaphone to go harder and faster on their Olympic, and they would say, "You come here and do this." And we said, We did twice what you did yesterday. And they would go, "Oh, crap." And it was a lot of fun. Believe me, it was so much fun. It was really rad. And gosh, I think that's when I was, I'd only been doing the ZenTri podcast for a few years, and I'm going to miss that race. But there's a chance it's not actually gone forever. It's a big race production company. I think they do one of the Alcatraz races and a whole bunch of other races. And really, the only problem is the lake's dried up. So if we get some luck and the lake fills back up due to some change in the weather, then we might have that race come back. That was the hope by the interviews with the race director themselves. There's a lot of history about Wildflower. It goes way, 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 way back. When I did it, I was shocked to learn that there actually is a naked aid station out in the woods. And you come up on it. I was like, oh, look at that. That girl has no top on or bottoms. And then I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then I turn and then I'm like, oh, that dude has no bottoms on. Ugh, gross. Like that. That was my reaction. And then I go, well, gotta go. Like that. And ran through. And I remember running off going, what just happened? What did I just see? Boy, this thing is nuts. I love this. Kona. All right, we needed to change locations because my big black lab started barking, and it is really insane when he starts doing that because then the other dog starts barking, and he was barking because Emily was coming home with groceries, and we got into a whole bunch of evening chores, and that is the life of the age grouper endurance athlete. So we needed to move locations and time shift a little bit here, and the sound quality is better here. Anyway, so let's keep going with the news. Let's see, Wildflower is gone. That's really sad. Maybe we'll see the lake fill back up and the race director bring the race back. They're in charge of a whole bunch of other races. So Wildflower is the one that's been one of the oldest and considered probably the biggest and best Ironman out there. Well, not Ironman, sorry. It's not an Ironman brand, first off. And second off, it's a half Ironman. And it is a really, really cool race. So I'm sad to see it go. I was lucky and got to go in one of the peak years. I was there either 2006 or 2007, which was the biggest year that they had 7,500 athletes, half Ironman distance one day and Olympic distance the next. It was pretty crazy. And we'll keep our eyes open to see if that one comes back. Mary Beth Ellis retired as a pro triathlete and then turned around and ran in a Spartan race, which is kind of an obstacle course, mud thing. And I've never done one, so I'm not an expert on everything it contains, although they are on TV, and you kind of get an idea. There's like spear throwing and rope climbs and all kinds of crazy things. And what's nice is it seems to be kind of standardized, so you can do it and compete. You can actually train for it and compete against other people, different races, and they have a championship. And Mary Beth Ellis got second. So there seems to be a life for pro triathletes outside or after they do Ironmans and they build up all this endurance and then get kind of burned out or want to retire and move on to something else. Spartan races seem to be something to check out because our buddy John Hirsch, pro triathlete, got top masters male at the World Championships in Tahoe a while back, and then also fourth overall at World Championships. And I think that's most of that news. Personal stuff, I've been using a wobble board at work. You can check that out at a standing desk. And that's it makes the day fly by to try to keep your balance a little bit. It works your calves. And a standing desk, good recommendation is IKEA has what I found to be the best standing desk because it's electric and you can move it up or down and adjust the height as needed, which is really cool with a wobble board because you get on the board, you want to raise the desk a little bit. You get off the board, you want to lower the desk a little bit. And you want to sit down because you're tired of standing, you just hit this button. It's like an operating table. It goes, and it lowers. Like hydraulic jacks, they're little electric motors. And let's see. Brad Williams sold us his old Microsoft Surface, the pro triathlete that's been on this podcast. Thank you so much, man. Brad Williams is a really cool guy. And now Kai and I, my 12-year-old son, are both on Zwift, the video game for riding your bikes on the trainer. and we raced each other. It's multiplayer around the world all the time. That's pretty cool. And that's a lot of fun. And so thank you. And let's see, we got a Garmin shock collar for Zoe. And it's also, actually, she doesn't respond to the shock anywhere near as much as she responds to a beep. And Zoe's our 1-year-old dog that's a mess. And she needs it. And so we beep her to control her behavior. That's a lot of fun. And it's made her happier, everybody happier, because she's behaving better, so she's not getting scolded all the time. And let's see, we wanted to talk about chronic training load and TSS for volume after our Derksen interview. I won't go into that a lot now, but you can graph your training load, your chronic training load, and each workout adds to it with a score that's called TSS. And there's lots of this stuff online, and it's the way that I coach. I love to coach by this method, and because you can graph out your progress and make sure you're not doing too much and slowly add on. It's pretty cool. And some of my favorite things lately is I'm right now listening to the Rich Roll podcast with Chris Hoth, I think is how you say his name. And this guy, Chris, is right up my alley. I love the way he coaches. He's verbalizing everything that I believe in, so go check that out. And also, Rich Roll, looks like Rich Roll might be signing up to do some sort of endurance event. And the part I'm listening to right now is he's saying, well, it's really tough, because you sign up for something, you want to be at the front, and you want to win or be towards the front, not kind of in the middle. And my advice on that is, but he doesn't want to sink that, just massive amounts of training into something, and not be in the front, but he also doesn't have time to sink in massive amounts of training and only finish towards the back or not do very well. So my advice on that, not necessarily to Rich Roll, but to everybody, is you can either sign up for races to do really well in, or you can sign up for something that's challenging enough where just finishing is amazing, right? So for a lot of people, an Ironman, just finishing is amazing because you're an Ironman if you finish one. When I did my self-supported Ultraman, I knew it was so hard going into it. It was so hard that I never even looked up what the fastest times are because I know that it was going to be difficult enough for me just to finish, right? So I don't care if I'm middle of the pack, back of the pack, or whatever. I still don't know how my times compare versus everybody else because I don't care because my goal was to just finish this thing. So if you're worried about whether or not you're going to be able to just finish, and then you're not worried about if you're middle of the pack or front of the pack or whatever. It's just exciting to be out there all day. So like say in Rich's example, I know he's never done an ultra marathon, like say a 50-mile trail run or a 100-mile trail run. You don't want to do a 100-mile until you've done some 50. So I would say, like in Rich's example, I'm not telling Rich what to do. I'm saying if you're kind of in the same boat, a 50-mile trail run would be a really good challenge. And they are difficult, really, really difficult. And just finishing is huge. And so you pick what you think is a challenging 50-mile trail run and then just try to finish. And it'll be there next year for you to try to improve your time on. And then you're not worried about back of the pack or middle of the pack or front of the pack, that kind of stuff. And let's see, a couple of Zen books, Zen Habits and Zen to Done by Leo Babauta, B-A-B-A-U-T-A, Leo Babauta. are some really good audiobooks I've been listening to kind of check out from all the election arguing and stuff that is not a good use of your time. So back to Zen when you need to focus in on things. Pretty nice. And there's a good bike trainer video out there. The Columbia Gorge is there's a bike packing video, and that was pretty nice sitting on the trainer and watching that. All right, I am going to kick off our interview here with Mr. Starky, and then we'll do Derksen, and then wrap it up at the end with a little bit of news about what's coming on the next show. So stay tuned. Here we go with Ben Hobbs, Going Minimalist.
Welcome to the next level.
My man.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, look.
Yeah.
You are in an RV.
Well, dude, do you think this is a joke? This is real life. This is real life, Brett Blankner.
Are you enjoying it?
Oh, dude, I love it.
It's kind of... I have a friend that has a really kick-ass RV.
Yeah.
And it's super cool, actually. It's got massage chairs in it and stuff like that.
Massage chairs. I don't have that. But it's pretty pimped out. I didn't buy like a crappy RV. I figured if I'm going to live in a tiny space, I want to love every inch of it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's... I splurged and got, a brand new Airstream.
Yeah.
But it's still such a cost savings versus if I were to be renting an apartment or the ludicrous 3,500 square foot house I lived in before.
Yeah.
It's all such a savings.
Yeah.
By the way, Brett, am I like the real guest for you this week, or is this just some bullshit intro? What are we doing here?
You are the leading guest. I'm going to do two of y'all this time around.
I have to headline. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I need to demand that I'm a headliner. Who am I? Who's the other guest?
Michael Derksen.
Never heard of him. Terrible guest.
Yeah, terrible. So now, when I was taking a tech writing class, we had to write a manual on something, right?
Yeah.
And this one person wrote a manual on how to, not how to live on, but how to protect your mobile home from fire. And but it's better than that. Actually, he got in trouble because he plagiarized how to take care of your mobile home in case of a fire or something like that, maybe tornado or whatever, because he said he wrote it as he converted it into how to take care of your houseboat, which is basically a floating RV in a marina, right? For
sure. Yeah. Almost all of the electronics and gadgets are marina or aircraft.
Right. And I'm thinking, why? Are you up in the Dallas area?
Yeah. Right between Dallas and Fort Worth right now.
Yeah. See, Dallas doesn't have... Now, see, if you moved to Miami, Panama, one of these coastal cities, San Diego, San Francisco, you could have gotten a boat, a houseboat, and then lived on that.
Yes, that's true, Brett. That's true. Why are you second guessing my decisions, Brett?
Because I'm living vicariously through you. I want you to be able to take your house out into the water and then go swim anytime you want and have a hell of a freaking party.
Well, Brett, I can still take my house into the water. It's going to be getting it out of the water is the problem.
You can put pontoons under it.
But there's nothing stopping me from taking it in the water.
That's true. So is it a motor coach or is it attached to a vehicle to get it to move?
It's a travel trailer. So, yeah, I've got a Ford truck that I pull it with. Big shout out to Ford. They sponsored me with an amazing $500 off discount. So I have to tweet about them 10 times in the next 6 months.
Yeah, yeah. That's what the pro sponsorship's all about. Speaking of that, I got a question for you about the trailer house try.
What do you think, brother?
Yeah, well,
wait. Can we pull this off?
I can't see you anymore. I can't see your body language. I can't tell how serious we are with some of this.
Oh, do you want me to?
There you are. You're back. Okay. So there we go. Look at us. Good. I like your choice of glasses. You look skinnier, man.
Oh, dude, I don't know about that. I will say one thing. after that photo of me running alongside Ferdino and Keenley with my shirt off, which was very funny, and I've laughed about this many, many times. It was also maybe rock bottom in terms of my physical fitness, and just looking at myself like, God, what have I become? Am I the Chris Farley of triathlon? Am I fucking John Candy? What is going on here? I mean, this is no way to live. So I've actually, since I got back from Kona, man, I have been doing nothing but eating salads and green smoothies, and I've exercised like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Strava. I'm talking shit to my friends, and it's been good.
When you said that maybe that we could actually do the interview today because you had your schedule open up, but still you do have to wait a little bit because you're going to go for a run. I didn't know what to make of that. I was just like, what the fuck, really? Are you really going to go for a run? I'm proud of you, man. That's kick-ass, dude.
I'm getting after it, Brett. I'm getting after it.
You've done a full Ironman before, right? So
yeah, I'm 2 for 3 when it comes to the Ironman.
Oh, yeah? Which two did you do?
Well, I completed Wisconsin and Louisville, and I DNF Texas.
Oh.
Yeah.
DNF is a Texas is a motherfucker. That's not good.
Dude. It was awful.
Okay, so the Trailer House Try. I got a question for you. Is it true that the Island House Try is really an excuse for really rich people to laugh at poor people scrambling around an island like rats looking for bread on a sinking ship?
You know, I was thinking about this. This Mark Holowesko fella, first of all, if you read about him or know anything about him at all, he's been very good to triathletes for a long time. I think he spent some time at Boulder, and I heard that for years he would actually fly some people to the Caribbean and take care of them and put them up. And I think he just kind of throws a few people that he's friendly with some money, which is great. I mean, there's not a lot of the money in the sport, so kudos to him. And he's worth like hundreds of millions of dollars. He runs, I think, Templeton Investment Funds or some huge hedge fund and mutual fund company. So more money than he probably even could spend in 35 lifetimes.
He's looking for places. It's Brewster's Millions.
Yeah, it's like, you know, what would you and I do if we had fuck you money? I mean, I don't know what. It's just, it's such an obscene amount of money. So here he is throwing around, what was it, $500,000 in prize money in this island. And basically, I don't know, the math could possibly work out so that it could actually give him a return on his investment. The island house itself is only 40 rooms. I can't imagine he's going to increase sales $500,000 per year based on that triathlon. And I'm sure in addition to the expense of the prize money, he's paying for television production. He's paying all these television stations to run it. So it's probably just like a fun little vanity project for him. So, I mean, you have to tip your cap to the guy. I dig the project.
How is it a tax write-off is the question.
How can you
make it a tax write-off?
I have no idea, Brad. I'm not an accountant. I'm an unemployed podcaster. But you should talk to your accountant about that. And also, by the way, he's not an American. He's in the Caribbean, which they've got all those tax shelters anyway. So I don't even know that it could possibly be a tax write-off for him. I'm getting another beer, by the way. Excuse me. I'm parched.
That's a long walk to your refrigerator from your recording studio.
You know, the longest walk I have is 20 feet. My trailer right now is the dirtiest it's ever been. Mm-hmm. When I hang up with you, I can have it completely spotless in 20 minutes.
So are you living in a RV park, and how are your neighbors?
Neighbors are great. Lots of older folks, retired people. A lot of very expensive coaches. You know, some of these motor coaches are like millions of dollars.
You're in an RV park, which is totally different than a trailer park.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not. This is not M&M and 8 Mile here. This is a very nice. This is a very nice $600 a month. You know, it's a nice place.
Yeah,
it's a very nice place.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you still have you learned to start paying attention to tornado warnings more than ever before?
No, I haven't thought about it, and I probably should, because that's the one thing that could really get me in this RV, isn't it?
Yeah. So in a trailer, I know this from experience.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you have to tie a trailer down they do an inspection if you start living in a trailer, and they drill into the ground around the trailer and do tie downs. So if the winds pick up, the wind can't pick up the your house and take it away.
I promise you this: no one in this RV park is tying down their trailer.
Yeah,
so we're all goners.
Yeah.
By the way, someone has taken a trailer house try on Twitter as a handle. I
Damn
noticed.
it.
Is that you, Brett?
No, it's not.
Who the fuck would steal my idea and Twitter handle? Are they going to try to sell me this Twitter handle now?
Now you need the real trailer house try.
I mean, God. What a jerk.
Okay, so are we going to do a trailer house try?
I really think it would be fun, in particular because, we no longer have Wildflower. Wildflower appeared to be this great event, which also celebrated RV culture. Now, I don't know about you, Brett, but I grew up without a lot of money. My dad was a teacher. My mom stayed home. There's 4 kids. So not a lot of extra money for frivolous things. Mm-hmm. And my dad would teach driver's training in the summer for extra money because really had to keep paying bills. So we would go to these little towns on Lake Huron, one of them in particular called Caseville. And my dad would teach driver's training all summer. Mm-hmm. And we would park our travel trailer on Lake Huron in a state park and basically live in the trailer all summer long. And we explored all of Michigan and northern Michigan in the summertime, which is amazing. And so I totally dig RV culture. I really do. And I feel like for working class, blue collar people, it's an inexpensive way to get out and see America. So I totally dig it. And, while I love Island House Try, we're all totally jealous that we can't go. But, wouldn't it be great if there was another triathlon where it was inexpensive, low budget, no frills, kind of a throwback to the way things used to be. Mm-hmm. And then, we just need to find somebody, not with an island, but somebody with a bunch of land who will let us just park a shit ton of RVs on it.
So, unfortunately, my family east of Dallas has 100 acres, but there is no, there is a lake nearby, and they do a triathlon there.
Well, we need to do the swim in an above-ground pool.
To make it authentic, not just in some shitty Texas lake.
It's got to be an above-ground pool.
What about a cattle tank with the cows just wade into?
I don't know what that is.
A tank in Texas, I've learned many years ago, is a pond. It's a pond, and so they call it a tank. I don't know why.
Okay.
Nowhere near as fun as a M1 Abrams. But, okay, so for all these years, I've done a self-supported triathlon, right?
Yes,
Ironman,
baby,
Ultraman.
Iron Ultra Baby. Is that what you call it?
I've even gone all the way up to an Ultraman. So I am really experienced in planning out how to do a small, because we always had people come do it with me.
Yeah.
And so how to plan out a small triathlon, you're talking 3 to 20 people, something like that.
No, but I want this to be maybe 100,000 people. I want this to be like Woodstock. I want this to be the Woodstock of
triathlon. Wildflower 7,000, so I don't know if you're going to get to 100,000.
I want 100,000, Brett. 100,000 people. This is going to be the Woodstock of triathlon.
Now,
it's going to be amazing. There's going to be no real money exchange. It's going to be sort of like Burning Man meets Baryshnikov costumes. Well, I guess they kind of have that at Burning Man anyway, but it's going to be epic.
Supermodels.
And I would love your support.
Underfed, wandering around in the sand.
Do they? I don't know about that. I don't know any supermodels, Brett. If you know some supermodels in College Station, please, you can invite them.
It's unbelievable. We're swimming in them. Yeah, they're everywhere. But now another way to get 100,000 people is to franchise it. And whenever I do one of mine, people get inspired and do their own wherever they live, because they can't come do the one, right? Because they live in Michigan, mm-hmm. right? They live in New York. Mm-hmm. And they're like, hey, I went out and I'm going to go do my own, same time that you're doing yours, or maybe the weekend before or weekend after. And they call it an Iron Baby or an Ultra Baby or whatever they're doing. And so you could have trailer house tries all over the United States all at the same time.
Now, do they have to pay you a tax on this, Brett, when they use Ultra Baby?
I wouldn't make them do that, but you could.
Will you be showing? Will you show up, Brett, and be I want you to do not a breakfast with Bob, but it'll be federally subsidized breakfast with Brett.
Yes, with lots of government cheese. If you have this trailer house try somewhere near us, I'll probably show up. I would love to be there.
I would love for you to do federally subsidized breakfast with Brett because I won't be able to. I'll be race directing, Brett. I won't have time to interview people.
Are you going to race though?
I don't know. I mean, Luke McKenzie didn't race the Island House try, so I don't know. It depends.
You can.
There's 100,000 people depending on me to give them a great experience. I'll probably just do that.
No, I think this sounds like an excuse not to race. I think you need to race.
I'm racing, dude. I'm signing up for a fall Ironman. I just can't decide between Louisville or Mont Tremblant.
That's a year from now, though. So you
decide. Yeah, I probably need a year, Brett. But
in the spring, you could do a half Ironman trailer house try, set it up, and go do it, and be a race director at the same time.
Yeah, for sure, and it's cool because I've got Tawny Prazak who's going to coach me.
Really?
Yep.
Are you freaking serious?
Well, mostly I'm just going to argue with her and tell her she's wrong about everything, but still, we're going to record it.
You're going to do the Brett method. Yeah.
I'm just kidding you. I'm just busting your chops.
Oh, man. So,
Brett, I think about you all the time. You really got me started in podcasting. You sat me down in your home. You showed me how to use Audacity. You showed me how to
give
edit.
A shit. Yeah.
You told me how to edit. You got me competent enough to at least put one episode out there.
So is this all my fault?
Then, of course, my amazing talent took over, and it just went next level. But you got me started, Brett, and I will always be grateful to you and to myself for all of my talent.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I feel.
Why aren't you? Why haven't you joined our age group team? I figured you would join the Baco squad.
I was on the Baco squad last year.
You were?
Mm-hmm.
And this year?
I've got plantar fasciitis in my feet so bad, I don't want to sign up for any races until it heals up.
Yeah, that's a bitch, that plantar fasciitis. Are you running on your toes like all the British triathletes, Brownlees and so-and-so?
Is that what you think causes it? Or
I don't know, but I just interviewed, oh God, I'm drawing a total blank on her name right now.
Here, walk with me while we talk. I'm going to go get a beer.
Okay.
But it's going to take me a while because of my massive house.
Braggart.
Humble brag. Hold on, let me go downstairs.
What, are you like carrying your laptop? Brett?
Yeah. Here, walk with me. Don't get distracted. You're a pro podcaster. You need to keep talking. We can't have dead air.
Hey, you can edit this out.
No. Keep going.
Did you move, Brett, by the way?
Yeah, we moved to a different house, same neighborhood.
And are you ready to go full-time with podcasting yet?
No, I never was. Well, I kind of was at one point. But
yeah.
Managed to figure out how to balance the job and the podcasting to a point where it was doing pretty good. So,
are you settled now, Brett?
Well, hold on. I'm going back upstairs. So where do you
always do this on your podcast? You like drink smoothies and eat bananas. You're chewing while you're recording. That's what I love about your show.
It makes people sick.
Have you ever taken a dump while you're recording, Brett? I mean, I feel like that's the one thing you haven't done on your show yet. Why don't you take it next level?
I've peed while recording.
You have not.
Yeah. I was recording while running one time, and actually many times I've peed while, oh shit, I forgot my bottle opener.
You took a leak.
God damn it.
That's what you need to do, Brett. You need to take a dump. Listen, you talk about everything.
I probably have and just didn't
Nutrition, you've talked about bowel movements a million times, I'm sure.
Come downstairs with me again while we go do this again.
You're going to walk back downstairs?
Yeah.
You're a maniac, Brett.
Yeah. I'm not editing this out. Why are you stopping talking?
Hey, I'm the guest.
Yeah.
You're supposed
to... No, you were in the middle of telling me something, but me walking around has totally thrown you off.
Oh, yeah. So
Again.
I was telling you about Vicky Holland. She took bronze in the women's triathlon in the Olympics in Rio.
Uh-huh.
And one of the topics I didn't get to with her is that, she tends to land on her toe. So does Non-Stanford. So do the Brownlees. And they seem to have all had plantar fasciitis at a certain point. I don't know whether British triathlon encourages them to run like that, or whether that type of just is random that they all happen to do that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't get to it.
it's kind of like, Mom, will we always have plantar fasciitis?
That is an excellent British accent, Brett.
Mom, don't make me clean the chimney again. Will we always be poor?
Oh, God.
Here, Jodie Swallow couldn't leave England where was she trying to go to her wedding?
Really?
Because her passport was missing a blank page.
Oh, no.
Speaking of Brits in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, I spoke with her briefly, and she said she was getting married December 2nd. It's coming right up.
That's right, to Jane's Kanamanamana.
Yeah.
Manamana.
What are you going to send them for a gift, Brett?
Nothing.
Come on.
I tell you though, she was one of the craziest interviews I've ever done. Like intensity.
Oh, way to brag that you've interviewed her and I haven't, Brett. Great. Very cool. All right, that's what we're going to do. We're going to start name dropping who we've interviewed. Oh, all right. Big pissing contest. I see how it is.
I've interviewed a donkey.
Did you really interview Swallow? That's cool. I mean, yeah, she doesn't like me. Although she was friendly the last time we bumped into each other, but
yeah. Now her mindset is just nuts. Like that hyper competitive, totally, I wouldn't call it brainwashed, like convinced that she can win and just go all out.
Mm-hmm.
And every once in a while you run into one of those triathletes, those pros that are like that. The Michael Jordan kind of crazy, like in a good way, like so convinced that they can win. Yeah.
I am convinced that you need to be on the Baco squad again, Brett.
That's what we were talking about.
We combined TRS Racing and the Baco squad. We've got about 200 people now nationwide.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be an opportunity. I think we
Can I be a coach and injure people?
Can you be a what?
Can I be a coach so I can injure people with my training?
I don't know that we're going to have like an official coach where everyone has to be coached by you, but I'm sure
everyone. Hey, by the way, everybody, you're going to be coached by this guy.
Everyone will be coached by Brett.
That injured himself because he coaches so well.
So I think you need to just, get it together, Brett, and join the Baco squad. We're going to have a great crew. We're going to have 200 people around the country. We're going to have an amazing time. Tons of team events. Mm-hmm. We're 10% of the budget we take in from dues, which is very inexpensive, by the way.
Wait, am I going to have to pay dues though?
You're a celebrity. I'm sure AJ can work something out with you. Okay. You're a huge celebrity, Brett. So probably
I'm like a C-list, C- celebrity.
Be an honor
in the world of triathlon.
Did AJ make you pay last year?
I'm not sure if I had to, but I wanted to. I wanted to support him. I joined the team and then didn't wear. I got the kit and all the stuff. I paid $300, right?
Yeah.
And then I didn't wear the kit during the race. The kit was actually too small for me, and I didn't send it.
Brett.
I didn't send it back because I didn't want to bother with it because I just wanted to support AJ.
What size is it?
Probably a large or a medium large or something. I don't know.
Schmedium.
It's a cool looking kit from last year. So,
well, if any of your listeners are interested, Brett, in joining either squad, they can email me, ben@trstriathlon.com. If they put Brett in the subject, or ZenTri,
then it'll come up immediately right into the trash can.
Technically, the deadline expired, but for your listeners, I would potentially consider opening it back up again.
So
I like your audience.
Well, they're pretty mellow people. But I got a question for you. What's going on with the the website and the podcast. You had a really interesting rant on your last show. Did we lose you? Hold on.
Yes, Brett.
There you are. Okay.
Here I am.
Lost you there for a minute. All right.
Sorry.
Was there a windstorm or some rain and it knocked out your satellite?
No, I have amazing internet here. I have Time Warner high-speed internet, and it surely wasn't me. It was probably you in College Station.
You think so?
Brett. Yes, I'm 100% sure. Don't try to blame me for this. You were asking me about my rant that went on my last podcast. I don't remember which one that was. Was I ranting about...
You were talking with maybe Websty, or Dark Mart. What's going on? All right. I don't know what's going on.
Me neither.
Yeah. College Station is actually on the fiber optic backbone because its railroad line runs through town. And one of the major internet backbones in the world runs through College Station in Bryan, Texas, through Texas A&M University. And it actually runs in the railroad line right away. And downtown Bryan actually taps into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were asking me about what's going on with the website, and I was saying,
you said you wanted to focus on doing the podcast,
yeah,
and let the forum thing be taken care of by Websty, which I agree with.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I used to run a website, me and another guy, called TriScoop, which was a ton of fun, and we didn't let any assholes on there, and anybody that got too serious.
How was it fun then?
Anybody that got too serious and said that you guys aren't doing it right or whatever, we made fun of them until they left. Yeah. And then also, this was right before Twitter. We had a shout box. It was a kind of a Web 2.0 kind of little box on the right, and you could just type things and put it in there and call out people and whatever. It was really cool. But then when Twitter came along, people kind of took to Twitter more. Than that, and then that died off, and we had a thread on there called Hot Athletic Chicks, and that thing it was so popular, man. It was awesome, and I would have to go in there every once in a while and clean off pictures that were, nearly porn that people were posting, and then, but it was a ton of fun to host a good website about triathlon, that had the right kind of people on it, people that didn't take themselves too seriously, and kind of the anti-slow twitch crowd. But eventually it died off because of the whole Twitter thing, and then I just focused on doing the podcast and coaching instead. So.
Yeah, you can't do everything, and I guess for me, here I am, 39 years old, post-divorce. I've had to relocate, and it's an opportunity to sort of start fresh and redesign my own life. And I'm making choices in the direction of minimalism, and not. I mean, I think the residence in terms of getting from 3,500 square feet into 30 feet is sort of a symbolic thing. And I do like the fact that I have very few possessions. Everything I need in life is in here, but I'm trying to do the same thing with obligations and things that take time. I'm trying to just choose a few things that I like, and I want to do them very well, and everything else I'm just going to say no to. And so I didn't necessarily enjoy publishing the website. Every time I would visit my own forum, I would generally get ornery. It just wasn't and it was something that made a little bit of money, but not enough that it was significant when you had to split it between me and Aaron Websty. So I felt like gifting it to him was a way to reward him for his hard work, and he continues to focus on it. And that way, it's just something I don't have to think about, worry about, or anything else. Because, I mean, think about it. Every obligation you have in life is something that takes energy. And I'm just trying to get a lot of things off my plate so that I can, work, be a good dad, get fit, be healthy, do a podcast that's fun for me and maybe even fun for my listeners.
And don't worry about them.
And everything else just needs to go away. You know what I mean? That's sort of my mindset lately.
All right, let's take a break from the interview and mention Amrita bars. Oh, I just had one. Where is it? Where's the wrapper? It was the chocolate maca attack. let's see, let me go get it right here. Because they have regular energy bars, and then they have their recovery energy bars. Here it is. Oh, Amrita, plant-based nutrition, chocolate maca, 15 grams of protein in one bar. How about that? I have the high-protein ones after I swim. Oh, man, it's such good stuff. They have all different kinds of flavors. They are I wouldn't say non-allergenic, because that's like, that's not the right wording. Hypoallergenic? There's no nuts. They use seeds instead for the protein. So if you have a nut allergy, there's no worries there. They are vegan-friendly and no animal products used inside. Gluten-free, dairy-free, peanut-free, soy-free, long time sponsor of the show. Kai was in a soccer game today, drinking out of an Amrita water bottle. Speaking of the other stuff they make, they have all kinds of cool gear, and he scored 2 goals. Now, if you eat Amrita bars, will you score 2 goals in life? Probably. You never know. Got to find out, and you can find out by going to amritahealthfoods.com and using discount code ZEN2016. That's discount code ZEN2016. It's actually a really cool fuel for long rides because it's super easy to digest. And also, here's another thing. They don't freeze. A lot of bars, the competition, uses stuff that will actually freeze when it gets cold. As we head into winter, Amrita bars stay soft. You can open one up and plow through it nice and chewy, and they're date-based. It's really cool. The way I eat Amrita bars when I'm biking along is I open one up, or I'll maybe pre-open one before I get going on the bike. But anyway, I take a bite out of it, like maybe a quarter or a third of the bar in one bite, and then I fold the end of the wrapper back over the rest of the bar, and then I put it on my quad. I stuff it up the front of my bike shorts from the knee side, kind of push it up in there, and it stays flat with my quad right here, right there. And then 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, I just grab it, pull it back out, push the bar forward in the wrapper, boom, another bite, and it keeps your stomach feeling so good, super smooth, super nice. There's cardamom in it, which actually soothes the stomach. So, all right, that's it for Amrita bars. Thank you so much for being a sponsor. Show them some love. Again, discount code 2016, ZEN2016 at amritahealthfoods.com. And also they have, like I said, a big store with all kinds of cool gear, shirts, jerseys, water bottles, fun stuff like that. Go check them out. All right, back to the episode. You know, that's really interesting because I went through that kind of stuff, not the divorce, but like everything else, my whole life being turned upside down and having to start all over again. And that's when it could be anything, but I just in an airport, as I was flying back and forth across the country trying to get my life back together, I came across a book on Zen, right? And so I was like, oh, cool, and Zen is really a religion or a philosophy for people that are miserable and trying to make sense out of life, right?
Sure.
And then, over the years, listening to Zen podcasts and whatever, and then starting my own and kind of looking into it, and then doing the whole long course triathlon, you're really trying to find yourself. Like, what am I? You kind of throw yourself against a wall, just kind of like, fuck, like something that's too hard to be any good at. And then you find out more about yourself. And then this whole movement with like minimalism and small houses and getting rid of everything. Like a lot of podcasts I subscribe to and listen to, and they're really great. But lately, the thing that I'm noticing is I think you're kind of at this. You're starting to get at this kind of. It's kind of like the stages of loss. Like the 7 stages of grief or 5 or whatever the fuck they are. There's like anger, and I don't know what order they're in, anger and denial and all this other shit. But you can almost like psychologically diagnose where people are in their path in life. And it's like, I'm kind of at the point now with all that stuff. See, you're turning 39, or you are 39?
Yeah, I turned 40 in April.
Okay. So I've noticed that around our age, because I'm just a few years older than you, and what you start looking for is your own, like aha moments, like, holy crap. Like you're saying, you moved into a place that's smaller, right? And you like it and all this stuff. And, but what I'm kind of thinking of now is what I'm noticing that I like, because you have all these podcasts and all these interviews and all this shit, all these TV channels that you can listen to. What I've noticed that's interesting is moments of enlightenment. And what that is aha moments where somebody has kind of like, they're like, oh wait, this isn't working and this is working. And they're very like personal and individual. And then listening to those and listening to other people kind of come to their own realizations kind of teaches you a little bit about like what, like yourself, kind of like, oh, holy shit. And it makes for freaking awesome interviews on podcasts. So the thing where you're talking about, I know what it was. You said you had a moment of realization. You were talking about this on your own podcast. You had a moment of realization where you admitted that you felt like you're really thick-skinned on Twitter, and you can just give people shit like crazy. And even on the podcast, like you and I are like going back and forth, like making fun of each other, right? But on the forum, right, on your TRS forum,
yeah,
like you would take shit if somebody said something. When it's in text to you on a forum, then you're like thin-skinned, and then like you don't like that. And that's like a holy shit, what moment where you're kind of like, wow, that's really different. That tells you something more about yourself that you didn't expect.
Well, I would say generally I'm thin-skinned anyway.
Yeah.
I would say 99% of the time I read any comment on Twitter, I want to punch that person. Okay. I hate them all.
Yeah.
Almost all the comments. They're all. It enrages me. But I normally don't react, right?
Yeah.
But I think I mentioned that in my own forum, I found myself getting even more agitated because I felt like those were people that should understand what I'm about, and when they didn't, then I just it was never a good combination. But yeah, I'm incredibly thin-skinned. That's probably a misconception of that. But
so maybe on the forum that's like the real you, and then the on Twitter where you got started. Ultraman is where vegans yell at their significant others or whatever. We started it all.
Right, yeah. So yeah, Twitter was a character, right? It was a character that's morphed, and it sort of then became kind of me. But I still am way more brazen and ridiculous on Twitter. Like Twitter is the most ridiculous aspect of my personality.
Yeah,
it is the most Donald Trumpish aspect of my personality. I every deplorable thought I have, I just let fly, and I figure it's still kind of okay because it's basically a character that I'm playing.
Right.
Probably, the podcast is probably as close to you can get as to the more accurate version of Ben Hobbs.
What we're talking about right now is really interesting stuff. And I'll tell you something that sometimes when I'm arguing with somebody on Twitter, I'll think to myself, what would the real Starky say? Right.
Fuck you in all caps.
Yeah. And then I'll be like, later, fuck off, and then blocked. And done. I did that just the other day. I almost did it again today. And then, but anyway, the whole thing where moments...
It's all a big waste of time, the Twitter. I should get off of it and spend less time there. Unfortunately, it is sort of the news and information feed. I feel like I get almost all of my information from Twitter these days. You get it so fast. There's so much information out there, you just kind of becomes too much after a certain point. Yeah,
I feel like you've leveraged in your position with your Twitter, your Twitterness, your Twitter character. You've kind of like you can leverage that to get interviews and make points, unlike other people. So you shouldn't get rid of it because it's kind of like, it's like this lever. It's like a platform that you've built, to use to make points and to say things. You said something earlier today on Twitter that was fantastic. I can't remember what it was now, though. But
there's probably like 8 things that were fantastic, Brett.
There's probably
which one was the most
many
fantastic?
dozens. Hold on, let's look. And but anyway, I think with podcasting, I think now we've kind of jumped the shark a little bit in podcasting. Like when you and I first met, I told you, podcasting was kind of like ham radio. That's the thing I always tell people when it first started out. Mm-hmm. And then it got really commercialized, and then now that's kind of gotten old and kind of like TV. Mm-hmm. And now people are looking for real meaning. Like, what are you really going to listen to? And now I think we're at the point of moments of enlightenment where people go, I did think this, and then I realized that. And I think that really strikes people as deep stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that we're going there. We're still going to have a lot of dick jokes, Brett. Mm-hmm. And we're going to goof around a lot. But I think, we're going to try to address controversy and news and get some good stories out there, I mean, I feel like a couple of the episodes we had recently were quite good that were not our typical pro athlete interview. We've got, this guy Colin.
Which is funny because it sounds like colon.
Yeah, and the poor guy diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer like 2 years ago. So, I mean, it was just an incredible interview, and I was really nervous to do it, and I hope it came off well. But an incredible human being, and the feedback I got about that was very positive. And here's a guy that was told he had 2 years to live 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. He seems to be doing well, but who knows? The guy's essentially been given a diagnosis, but we were still able to have fun, and joke around with the guy. That's what he wanted. He wanted to be treated same as anybody else. And
well, that's what I think. That's what I'm talking about. Is like it's the expected turned on its head. It's kind of like a lot of people would think that you would never be able to do this kind of stuff with colon cancer or colostomy bag, and he did. And it kind of makes you rethink everything,
Yeah, that and the John Joseph interview made me think, all right, maybe we do want to maybe veer away a little bit from just pro athlete every week. Mm-hmm. Maybe we sprinkle in some more of these interesting stories that aren't, a high level pro. I mean, I do like that aspect of our show that we can get. I think we've had Ferdino on like 4 times, and we at this point I can get just about anybody except for a handful that are mad at me to do the show. Mm-hmm. So I think that's great, and I like doing it. But yeah, every once in a while to bring in somebody outside of that spectrum, I think could be good.
So I'm looking at your Twitter feed right now, and when you say when you make fun of Matt Derksen, does that make him want to come on your show or not?
Oh, I would rather interview a rock than Matt Derksen.
Why? I forgot. Is he British or Canadian?
Well, British.
He is?
Yeah.
Is he the one that was the British coach? Or is that?
Yeah, he's in San Francisco. He's Mr. Silicon Valley, and he's got a lot of very wealthy age groupers he coaches, and he's actually got a lot of pro athletes he coaches too.
Is he purple patch? Is he the purple patch guy?
Purple patch.
Purple patch. Mom, will we always live in a purple patch? Mom, will my FTP always be so poor?
Yeah, I decided I would never say anything bad about anybody ever again.
Whoa!
Like you're making this very hard for me.
Wait, when did that start? What are you drinking, by the way?
Coors Light.
Oh, Coors Light. Okay. Yeah, that won't stick.
But I just find Derksen to be aggravating. I just find him to be an obnoxious human.
You just said like 2 sentences ago you're not going to say anything bad about anybody.
Well, that's not. Those aren't negative things, are they? But my God, I mean, he seems to be coaching everyone, and the great thing about being coached by Matt is whether he's just a consultant or whether he's your coach or whether he was your coach 5 years ago. If you do something well, he's going to write about it on his blog and basically take credit. for everything you do. So I think he actually wrote a blog already about the Chicago Cubs, taking full credit for their success. Mm-hmm. Somehow it's related to him. It's got to be.
There must be a specific example you're thinking of that he's done that's got a burr under your Texas saddle.
You know, he seemed to have built his entire business around Meredith Kessler and tried to protect her, and called me and for hours and hours of his life, he spent hours of his life talking to me, begging me not to publish a story about the simple fact that Meredith Kessler hit a pedestrian, fled the scene, pled guilty to it both in criminal and civil court.
Yeah.
These are facts, okay, right? So, and the story is buried. And I can only guess as to why Triathlete, Lava, Slow Twitch never covered it. Because when I finally figured out this had happened, I reached out to Meredith to try to get a comment. Suddenly, I'm getting called by Matt Derksen. Hours and hours of phone calls.
Yeah.
Please, you can't print this.
Why did you stay on the phone with him for hours? Though?
You will destroy this girl. I'm trying to be. He's a high profile coach. Mm-hmm. I'm being sympathetic. I'm not an asshole actually in real life. So, and the whole time he's kind of like telling me that maybe we will participate and do an interview and do a comment, etc. But hours of this guy's life he spent basically guilting me into not publishing the story that seemed totally appropriate to publish the facts about what happened there.
Yeah.
And so I just think that he's the type of person that would help an athlete, bury a body if they committed a murder. I think that he felt maybe that his entire empire would collapse somehow if Meredith Kessler was known to be a hit-and-run felon. But she wasn't a felon, by the way. She did not get charged with a felony. So let me make sure I clarify that. But but then after all of that, Meredith leaves him, right? She leaves him.
Yeah. And
he couldn't wait even 2 seconds to get on his blog and write about all the things that they had accomplished together. And when I read that, it seemed like kind of like a fuck you for leaving me. I did all this for you, and now I'm going to take credit for everything we did together. He did the same thing with Holly Lawrence. I guess he's not been coaching her at all this year. But after she has some success, he hops on his blog, writes all about her. It just seems to kind of really be into self-promotion and image crafting. I'm basically still just annoyed that he wasted so much of my time on the phone. Begging me,
it all goes down to
begging me not to write about Meredith Kessler. You will destroy this poor girl. She has lost everything.
So who's a coach you would interview? You do want to interview?
I love talking to Filial and Paulo Sousa and Siri Lindley, and I'd love to get Sutto on sometime.
Would you not be able? Would you be able to hold back from some sort of pedophile joke with Sutto?
No. Listen, in terms of pedophilia, I have a lot of respect for Sutto because here's one thing: he may have gotten a blowjob from his friend's 16-year-old daughter, but you got to tip your cap to him. At least he didn't kill her.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. A lot of times the pedophiles will actually murder because you can't have
Get
that
rid of the
evidence.
evidence.
This is basically a stolen Louis C.K. bit, but that's
I didn't know that.
That's you gotta give him credit for not killing her.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because if he had killed her, maybe we wouldn't know about this. She would just be a missing person.
What do you think led to Sutto all of a sudden being able to actually type?
Oh, he's not. Someone has taken over his account and his blog.
Yeah, I mean his I don't know his grammar, language, or something was.
Right, he's got a ghostwriter.
But up until then, it was insanity. Like, it was. I couldn't tell if it was him or Jonas Colting that was typing in Swedish.
It was amazing. Yeah, I think I don't know if the deal is that maybe he has a little bit of dyslexia, perhaps.
Oh, are we making fun of somebody's handicap? That's not cool.
Yeah. Yeah, way to go, Brett.
You shouldn't have done
that. But nobody really knows, right?
Maybe it was horse language since he used to.
All we know for sure is that a friend of the family, close friends, had a 16-year-old daughter. He was that girl's coach, and he coerced that 16-year-old into giving him multiple blowjobs. And we're all supposed to act like that never happened, and we should still respect him as a human being, as a coach, and a pillar of the triathlon community.
Yeah.
And he can lecture us about the sport and about morality and about the morality of drafting. I mean, I saw this ass clown post a rant about the morality of drafting at Ironman, and that it's. I mean, who does this guy think he is?
Yeah.
He put his
why would you
penis.
interview him then?
He put his penis in the mouth of his friend's daughter. Don't talk to me about drafting.
Does it matter more that it was a friend's daughter? What if you keep saying friend's daughter?
I think it's actually worse that he preyed on a family friend's daughter.
So if it wasn't a friend's daughter, then it would have been okay.
No. But there's to me, it's a degree of slime ball that's worse, given the fact that it was a family friend's daughter.
Yeah. Then if he was on an interview with you, what would you actually, besides the daughter thing, what would you ask?
I would say
what's worth interviewing him about?
First question would be, I would say, so Brett, take me back. What sports did you play growing up? Swimming, a little running, a little.
He didn't do anything.
How the heck are you?
I think it's interesting with Sutton how he manages to have so much success with women athletes. I think he has some sort of charisma, power hold over them where he gets them to do what he wants. And he uses that. Yeah.
It would appear that there is an intense amount of psychological control that he exerts. I mean, if you read Chrissy Wellington's book, and she's giving you the version that she wants to put out there.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like they're in love with him in a weird way.
I don't know if it's that, but he does exert a lot of power and control, it would appear. There's a lot of psychological control.
Mm-hmm. It's like a father-daughter thing.
Maybe not a healthy father-daughter thing.
No, not a healthy one, but I think that's the role. It's like they want approval from him. There's something in his body language or the way he talks to them that's like they want approval from daddy, and they'll do whatever he says.
Anecdotally, what people say, one would think that there's a pattern of where he kind of like really tears someone down to then build them back up again.
Yeah.
So maybe it would appear to me to be a bit of a mindfuck. Now, at the same time, those are the stories. There's a bias here, right? There's a selection bias. Those are the stories people tell me because they know that I think Sutto's kind of a creep. No one's going to reach out to me via email and say, Brett is an amazing coach. Like, he was so beautiful to me, and my self-esteem was so much better after the fact. So I don't get emails like that. I just get the, hey, I heard you don't like him. Here's some supporting evidence. Mm-hmm. But it would appear that there's some sort of mind control going on there.
Yeah, well, and it works on the female athletes, and it doesn't work on the males. You know?
Yeah.
He doesn't have anywhere near the success with the guy athletes. And with the females, I think the control and the breaking down of them, works. I was in a Marine Corps military school, and I was in the Corps at A&M, and they do that. They tear you down.
Right.
But it's a very controlled environment. You can't leave.
Right.
And so as a guy, you kind of need that. Like, if they're going to tear you down, they need to control you so that you can't just walk the fuck out of there, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think with the girls situation is the guy, the head coach can tear them down, and the thing, if it's a civilian environment where people can just walk out, I think the guys go, I don't need this crap, right? But the female gender kind of goes, well, maybe I'll hang around a little bit longer, see if I can get some approval from this guy, and then it works on them, and then not the males, because he can't make them stay. It's not a military environment. They haven't signed up. you know, for life or something like that. They're not going to get court-martialed or something like that if they leave.
True. Yeah, I don't really know exactly what's going on there. I mean, you hear a few things. It's just a very interesting approach. He used to train dogs and horses, so
right. You treat people like animals. You strip them down to nothing.
At the same time, he has to be doing something right. I mean, his results are amazing. Either he's cutting corners, or he really does have a few things figured out. It would appear that most people think he's really got a good sense as to how to coach, so you know.
So what I learned from the whole Marine Corps stuff and the ROTC is if you have control over people like that, you can brainwash them into being basically killing machines, right? They will do whatever you say. You can get them march in order, you know, and then the training that you can instill upon them, the dedication, is above and beyond anything you've ever seen. How
many kills do you have in your belt?
I don't like to talk about that so much, but I'm just saying the dedication and the commitment is unbelievable. If you strip people down but they're, again, in the military environment, they have to be there. They can't leave. And but then the performance that you can glean out of a unit is above and beyond what you could ever imagine with that kind of mindset of just insanity, like with teamwork, and we're going to do everything together, and nobody's left behind. What makes the grass grow? Blood. Things like that. And get people chanting all that bullshit is just so intense. And if Sutton ran a triathlon training camp like that and got people to follow him, you could really create an athlete that's 5-10% better than other ones. You create many athletes that are 5 or 10% better just on mindset, on how they train. And then when I talked to Jody Swallow and there's somebody else I interviewed that used to train under him. They just keep repeating the same kind of like stuff. That's like, I'm going to win. I'm going to go all out, and then I'm going to win. That's what I do. And you're like, you're not really here. Are you with me? When you're talking, because you sound like you've kind of mentally checked out, and you're like, you're just all in, and nothing's going to stop you, regardless of reality. You know? And it's very similar to like somebody that's in Navy SEAL training or something like that, or Special Forces. Yeah.
I can't offer much guidance about military or Special Forces, Brett.
Yeah. I really can't either. I'm really out on a limb there.
Nothing to contribute there.
Yeah.
But, Sutto. I miss the old Sutto on Twitter. The unhinged.
Wasn't there like somebody should have started a Twitter account if there wasn't one that was like a Sutto translator?
There was.
There was?
Yeah, there was. It was fantastic too, yeah.
It took his tweets and then turned...
yes.
Every single tweet into better.
Every single tweet was translated, and it was actually helpful. Yeah, it was great.
Cool. Okay, so you said you went out running.
Yeah.
What are you training for? Are you talking about next fall? Those races?
Life, motherfucker. No, I it's funny. I retweeted somebody who said something very funny on Twitter. Michael Egan. He's at Egansky on Twitter. I think he's very funny. He said, signing up for an Ironman to get yourself to train is like having a baby to save your marriage.
Yeah.
I think he hashtagged like dumb fucks or something like that.
Yeah, he spelled dumb fuck, DUMFUK.
Yeah, one word. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally funny. Also, I'm actually going to do this, though. I am going to. I do, because I feel like for me, unless I have an event on the books that is frightening, it can be, I can lose motivation. So I actually am going to sign up for a fall Ironman. I'd like to do one on my 40th birthday. It would be, I think, very cool to be able to look myself in the mirror and say, you're 40 years old and you're in the best shape of your entire life.
Yeah.
I think that would be important.
When I read his tweet, your retweet of his tweet, I laughed at how funny that was, and then I thought, oh shit, I do that.
Yeah.
As soon as, and I recommend that other people do it because it really works. As soon as your event is over, start thinking about signing up for another one as soon as you can. And it doesn't matter how far away it is. It can be a year, like you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. But it needs to be something that kind of scares you, where you're kind of like, oh shit, and then that keeps you honest. It keeps you going, I need to go out and train a little bit at least. And then you'll train more as it gets closer. But it needs to be something that when you're out training that you're thinking about. You can visualize kind of like, oh man, when I do that, Ironman or a 50-mile trail race or something like that, that's freaking it's gonna kill me if I don't train for it. So, and I've signed up and I kind of want to do it, so I'm gonna go out and train for that thing.
I feel like the signing up for the event is a good catalyst. Ultimately, you have to get into good habits. And ultimately, for me, 1 month into training, you start to really realize that the process is enjoyable and you feel better and it feels good. And you like to be in that routine of doing some exercise every day. It just feels good and you can feel some progress. You get a little bit stronger every couple of weeks. That's ultimately what hooks you in terms of building a sustainable habit. I think the signing up for the event is the good thing that just gets it going. Because right now, I mean, the biggest excuse factory is the logistics. Like I don't know where the hell I'm going to put my bike. I mean, a 30-foot trailer. What am I going to set my fucking trainer up next to the microwave and right? I have one little tiny hallway here, right? So I can't keep my bike in here all the time. So I have to figure out logistically where to swim in Arlington. Where am I going to ride my bike? Where am I going to run? Running is easy, but I think signing up for the event forces you to kind of get all your logistics in order. Once you've got a month under your belt of actually doing it, that's going to start to feel good, and then it's hard to stop. Don't you agree? Yeah.
I was going to ask you, are you up to 2-a-days yet, or are you still doing 1-a-days?
Dude, I'm barely up to 5 a week. I'm just trying. At this point, I'm just trying to get my run frequency up. I'm just trying to run close to every day.
Okay.
That's really all I'm doing.
And then I know everything's going to be, because you're in a small space, everything's close. Do you have everything organized where you can get your running shoes and your running clothes?
Everything has a place.
Okay, that's huge. Because then when one big barrier to training is finding your shit. It's so freaking annoying to be looking for a water bottle or your running shoes and you don't know where you left them, or somebody else has put them somewhere in your house.
All right, but my problem is I just don't have any place to put my bike, so I have to. They will allow us to have a small shed on our lot, so I'm going to buy a small shed and I keep my bikes in that. Yeah, and then I'll be off to my races. But there's some good TRS racing guys in Dallas Fort Worth to train with. Off the top of my head, there's a dozen of us. Yeah. I'm sorry, half a dozen of us that I know already. So I think it'll be fun to actually get out and mix it up with some of those Baco squad TRS racing people. And I'm looking forward to it, man.
The Arlington area is actually, Arlington itself is not great for cycling, but you're on the edge of Dallas Fort Worth. So you can go out.
Easy to get out of town.
Once you get out of town, the cycling to the southwest of that area is fantastic. It's it's rolling hills. You've got that lake. I forgot the name of that lake that's near you. Joe Pool. Joe Pool Lake is a really good lake. And people used to have a lot of triathlons out there. The first triathlon I ever did was right where you are, near there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ironhead Race Productions, that guy, Jack Weiss, they got in so much shit with
the guy that slapped his wife.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell's going on? Is almost every male out there some type of sexual or physical predator?
I think so. I think it's a problem.
think about all of the people we know in the news right now. Our two presidential candidates. We got one whose husband is a serial sexual predator. Mm-hmm. We've got Donald Trump, who seems to be a serial sexual
grabs everybody
assaulter.
By the pussy. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got.
That's how he says hi.
Should I take my shirt off for you, or is this good?
No, I think you got the Kavorka.
Brett, everyone is going to unsubscribe for your podcast. You just alienated maybe half of your audience as
On
I
what?
trash Trump and Clinton. I basically bash both of them, and nobody wants to hear about politics anyway in a triathlon podcast. Everyone is going to unsubscribe from this, and this is bad for both of us. You need to edit out the last 40 minutes.
Okay. I'll put it on after.
It was my favorite part, though. I enjoy talking about this
I'll put
stuff.
it at the end of the show, my 5-hour podcast that I made. That you pointed out.
I love your 5-hour podcast. Can this be a 5-hour podcast that I am a part of?
Okay, so let's cover the main points here.
What have we learned? What have we learned today?
Well, I think that what you want to get out there is the TRS Triathlon Balco team. Meetup.
No, that's essentially shut down. We did close applications, but for your audience, I would consider letting them in particular if you're going to rejoin Baco Squad, which I think you should.
But agreed. But
That's
you wanted
fun.
to get that out there that you have a team with Balco.
Yeah.
It's-
TRS Racing basically formed a super alliance with AJ, with the
How many-
Baco Squad.
How many athletes, and then what kind of training? How does this improve people's lives?
Fun. That's basically it. I think it's going to be fun. We've got, a private forum through triroost.com, which is the new name of the former TRS forum. So we got a private forum. We're going to do lots of team events. We're spending
no dickheads in the forum. If you take yourself too seriously, you get kicked out.
Yeah, there's interesting culture that I've noticed about both AJ's team and my team, which is we have some fast people, and I think I had 4 people in Kona this year that were TRS Racing members.
Is there somebody as fast as Dark Mark who won a sprint triathlon?
Well, we got lots of people faster than Dark Mark. But it's fun first, right? People are there to they don't take themselves seriously. They don't take their results seriously. We have a lot of people that are trying to get fit, trying to go fast, but for the most part, it's a fun-loving group of people that just enjoy busting chops, having fun, goofing around. And so if you come in with a slow twitch mentality where like, dude, anybody over 13 hours in an Ironman shouldn't even fucking get to finish. You should, get run. Any type of horse shit like that where you're taking yourself and your results and the sport very seriously, you're going to get run pretty quick.
Yeah. And what else?
So,
Y'all have there's a forum so people can meet up with other people. Is there like
well, at this point, the whole point of merging would be so that you have more people in your local geographic location, in your locality, if you will, that you can
I've never heard
actually,
a triple repetitive.
that you can actually be
descriptor.
friends with in the real world, right? Because forums and Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff is cute, but at the end of the day, I want people in Dallas that I can train with and hang with and be friends with.
Yeah.
And there's a shared sense of humor. I guess people that listen to my podcast I think that's the common denominator for people that join TRS Racing. AJ, as you know, you've had him on your show many times. He's a character. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He races. He trains hard. He does his best. But ultimately, AJ is about having fun in life.
Yeah.
And
he's a cool dude.
AJ is winning at life. I don't know if you've spent any time around AJ in the real world, but he is winning at life. He's got an amazing, beautiful girlfriend who's just the sweetest person you could ever meet. And they've got a great life. They have a lot of fun. They travel a lot. AJ, for a guy that has, a few decent results, he's totally motivated and business savvy. And quite frankly, part of the reason for the merger was to let him negotiate a lot of the deals. And by bringing 200 plus people to the table, we can add more value to a brand like Castelli, who's doing our kits again. And Castelli, has to offer us a little bit more. And so it's going to be better for both teams in terms of swag, discounts, and some of the benefits that people do want in joining a club, in addition to making friends. So I guess what I would say is it's friendship first, with some benefits, some discounts, some swag.
Friends with benefits?
Friends with benefits, yeah.
What about this is going to allow you to focus on your podcast more, or not be distracted from your podcast. What changes will we see in your show? I don't know, like quality or guests or frequency or something. What's going to change?
Frequency might change. You know, I've got this patron campaign, patreon.com, which I've told you, Brett, you should do a campaign. But
I've done it, and then I wasn't able to keep it up, so I need to get back on it. Injury sucks. It's really demotivating.
Yeah. So I told my patrons if we got up to X dollars per episode that I would do 2 shows a week. And it would appear, based on talking with them on that Patreon private kind of website, that they do want a second show. So, yeah, Mark and I are trying to figure out exactly what that second show looks like. And so, yeah, it might be 2 shows a week. So, you know, AJ's totally running the team. I basically am just a worthless figurehead. My job is to do a good podcast, make it funny, and help that kind of be the marketing for the team. No longer doing any web publishing or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's not totally unreasonable to do 2 shows a week sometime in the near future.
You could do a show like about, I don't know, pro shit, and then you could do a show about not pro, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Something to make them different from each other or something.
It's funny. We surveyed the patrons and tons of comments, tons of feedback. And as you could probably guess, nobody agreed on what the second show should be.
Yeah, yeah.
And one person, I don't remember who it was.
But they have very strong opinions on what it...
Well, you know, everybody wants something different. Some people wanted like 30 minutes of news. They wanted news of what happened in the races that weekend. Some people are like, no, I want another long-form interview. Some people wanted more Dark Mark and Tommy Zafiris telling jokes. And ultimately somebody said, do the show you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
It'll be better if it's something you want to do.
It'll be better, and then it'll be sustainable because you'll actually enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And so
that's true.
I'm going to see Mark this weekend. He's coming down to Dallas. There's NASCAR racing going on at Texas Motor Speedway. Taking the RV. Going to see Landon Castle. You got to have him on your show, by the way.
Who's that? Landon Castle.
Landon Castle. He's a NASCAR driver.
Oh, okay.
Drives a 38 car. Great dude. He's a vegan.
What? Is that possible in NASCAR? They don't kill him?
Vegan NASCAR driver who's a triathlete, qualified for 70.3 Worlds last year. Very fast. Very fit triathlete. Damn. And young guy, ton of fun. Yeah, so got to know him. He's been on my show before. And yeah, last time he was in town, he actually stayed at my ex-mother-in-law's house with me. And I chauffeured him around. Actually, he insisted on driving. But yeah, it was a good hang. So Mark's going to come down, and I'm sure we'll get to talk about what we want to do. But yeah, we have to figure that out.
The triathlon news is, you know, I run that at the front of my show because I think that there's actually a market for that, because there's a lot of people that, you know, you're not going to get your triathlon news unless you go read it, right? And then a lot of people don't have the time or don't want to go read all the triathlon news and go find it, because triathlon news is scattered all over the place, right? You got to go to like 3 different websites to get the triathlon news. 3, 4, 5, like you're saying, like with the Kessler thing, you know, some websites wouldn't even cover that, right? And
people just get their triathlon news from Twitter, don't they?
Maybe.
Isn't that how you get it quickly as possible?
No, I go between Slow Twitch, Triathlete, DC Rainmaker.
Who's he?
Yeah. Aero Geeks, Tri Rig, and I like cycle through them, Bike Radar, and kind of go through those, and then I come up with and Twitter, and I'm like, okay, well, here's the news stories. But then a lot of people don't care that much, but they do want to know the news. So if you condense that into one show, then when people are driving to work or they're out on their run, you know, they can get all the triathlon news done without having to go through all that shit to go get it. And then that's a good show right there.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how interested I am in talking about what happened over the weekend, but
yeah, that too, because it seems repetitive after a while. You know, it's kind of like, well, somebody did way better than they should have. Is that doping? And and there's this race, and then that race, and trying to find the angle on what makes it interesting is what's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
What's your favorite song, Brett?
My favorite song?
Mm-hmm.
High Plains Drifter by the Beastie Boys.
Really?
Oh, I love the Beastie Boys. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You had John Joseph on? Because he grew up with those guys.
Really? No, I don't think I've had him on.
Gotta get him on.
No, my son loves it, and I was explaining to him how complicated that song is. You've got three guys that are all rapping over each other, and so many references to historical stuff, like pop culture in the 60s and 70s, and even 80s. And I was thinking, like, that's a really cool song. It's really complicated. It's complex. There you go.
Here we go. Hell of a bass line. Beastie Boys are probably my favorite band ever. Mm-hmm. It represents my college years.
We had this stuck in a CD player, my friend Supra in college. So you got several guys all talking over each other, over the...
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. And
I think one of the best nights of my entire life was UNLV. There was a Beastie Boys cover band.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
there was about 30 people in this bar in Las Vegas, near the UNLV campus. And we stayed up till probably 5 in the morning. Not only did they do all the Beastie Boys covers, but they were doing all that sort of late 90s, early 2000s hip-hop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was totally incredible. They were amazing performers. It was the perfect amount of booze, friends, and it was just a great time.
Something, Rick Rubin was their producer for, I don't know if he did Paul's Boutique, but Paul's Boutique was considered Beastie Boys' an album they could never make again because it has and that High Plains Drifter's on it, and it's because they use so many sound bites from other things that now you would get, you can't play it without getting fined or sued by the other artists. It's the whole David Bowie and Vanilla Ice, beats and things like that. I forgot that's called sound clips, sound bites, something. Samples. It's so heavily sampled from so many other things. And Rick Rubin produced it. He produced their first one, The License to Ill. But I think you might really enjoy, if you haven't heard it yet, Rick Rubin has been on the
Tim Ferriss,
and it was mind-blowing.
It was really good, yeah. That was really good.
He goes, so what makes you different from other record producers? And he goes, there's a long pause, and he goes, I don't know how to answer that question. And then he goes, well, why not? And he goes, I don't know what other record producers do. And you're like, oh, shit. This interview just got weird. And Rick Rubin started meditating when he was 14, I think he said.
I loved how that whole interview he was talking about hanging out with Phil Maffetone, too. That he had Phil Maffetone living in his house with him.
Yeah.
That's Tawny's main squeeze.
Yeah. But Rick Rubin was recently on another podcast with like James Altucher or somebody big, and it was the exact same thing. It was insane. Like, that dude is so zenned out and like mellow and focused. And that's what enabled him to actually, he said the way he got these artists like the Beastie Boys and whatever and LL Cool J, that's where he got his start. LL Cool J, Beastie Boys, and somebody else. But then, the list is insane. Like he brought Johnny Cash back from the dead, basically. He said all he wanted to do was make them authorize the artists to be themselves, right? And that reminded me of what you're saying about your podcast. If you do what you want to do, then it'll be better, And
true.
Then it's sustainable. I mean, that's how I've been doing the ZenTri podcast for so long, is it's my own. I don't give a shit, like, if it's good, obviously, because it's mine, and I'm not I don't do it for anybody else or anything. I remember, I think I told you, Rich
But
Roll.
you've had a loyal audience of, thousands of people that have listened to you for
Forever.
a decade.
Yeah, I get emails all the time. I've been listening to you since the beginning. I'm like, man, I'm sorry for all those years. But I remember working with Rich Roll and Vinny Tortorich when they were first getting started. And they go, how do you keep track of your listeners? And I go, I don't care. I told you that too, right? Did I ever tell you that? I go, I don't.
And I asked you how many people you had to look it up.
You have to go look up how many listeners I got, because that will undo your quality. You do it for yourself, and then the listeners, if you're any good, the listeners will come, and then it's more enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, dude, I
appreciate
appreciating you helping me get started, and always a pleasure. Let's do the Trailer House Try.
Oh yeah,
I know one of your listeners probably started that damn account, and I want they're going to try to sell it to me for $1,000.
Do you think I was the first person to tweet that hashtag?
They're going to try to sell me that at Trailer House Try.
I think you tweeted the hashtag first, but then I jumped on it and go, dude, this has to happen.
I knew it was right up your alley. You were somebody who gets it, Brett.
Yeah, I do a middle finger to the man, big time.
There's an opportunity here for a triathlon, mass participation triathlon that embraces RV culture. There's something to RV culture. It's very, very cool culture. Again,
you seriously want thousands of people to show up to this thing. How are you going to get thousands of people to swim in a pool, an above ground pool?
No, maybe not. That's a stretch goal. But I don't know. I don't know if race directing is even my thing. I need a partner in this endeavor. So maybe we'll do it together, Brett.
I did an Iron Baby one year, a self-supported Ironman with 10 people, and we broke into a neighborhood pool and swam in that, a 25-meter pool, and swam in wetsuits in this 25-meter pool, and had to be quiet. Somebody started, and go, like that. Everybody goes, shh, like that. And we swam, and then the next weekend, they locked the pool down so that nobody could get in. They changed all the locks on it because of what we did. Man. So, yeah, I'm there with you, man.
Well, always a pleasure, Brett.
All right.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me on.
All right. And that's it, dude. How you feeling?
I feel good.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hobbs. And let's see, you can find him on Twitter at TRS_radio. Let's see, I've got him up here. I'm following, TRS_try. And I have him here on my Twitter feed. I'm also watching Ironman Arizona. Looks like Heather Jackson is having the time of her life out live tweeting Ironman Arizona. Friend of ZenTri, Angela Nath. Looks like she's in the top 3 or 4. And Mary Beth Kessler is leading the run. And we'll see where that ends up. But anyway, let's go ahead and mention some supporters before we get into Derksenville here with Mike Derksen's swim interview. And let's switch over to the list here. So you can help out ZenTri if you enjoy the show by supporting it on the left-hand side of the ZenTri podcast webpage, zentriathlon.com. There are one-time donation links and recurring donation links. It's all good because it all goes to help support the show, and it really does help. And let's see. Let's start off with, and if you donate, I read your name on the podcast. So we have Brian Kemper, Todd Nelson, Matthew Heinz, Matthew Frois, M. Webb, Tyler Moyer, Matthew Crehan, Spiros Fetsis, Joseph Diber, Richard Trigot, James Von Hippel, Houston Marsh, Sean L., and Sean, I always want to say Sheen. Sean sent in a whopper of a donation, man. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Thank you so much. That really helped out a lot. And Michael Radagna and Brett Hoyer, the coolest first name in triathlon. Simon Wright and Justice Phillips, the other coolest name in triathlon. Justice, what a cool first name. And Jonathan Woodman and Hun Chu, who I used to coach. How you doing, Hun? And John Mulan and Favia Katie Joe. Oh, by the way, speaking of support and coaching, I'm about to have one slot open up I'm enjoying that slot being open right now, and I'm not coaching too many people because I got a lot of stuff going on with my son's Boy Scout troop that I'm. Dude, in less than half an hour, I got to be there to go sign off kids on rank advancement and stuff like that. But Training Peaks added the ability, finally, the ability to build graphs, blocks for workouts, and it's drag and drop. I like to do hard versus easy, scale of 1 to 10, the RPE, rate of perceived exertion, 6. Now do 10 minutes of 5. Now do 1 minute of 8. Now do 3 minutes of 4, and with descriptions, if it's swimming, like freestyle, breaststroke, whatever. And it's so easy. It's so nice. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. Making workouts more clear for the athlete to understand. And of course, you can save them, and then I can move them around. And oh my gosh, it's the best. So anyway, I'm digging that. That's really just a news story that TrainingPeaks.com added that, and I'm super, super excited. And I guess let's go ahead and get started with our buddy Mike Derksen. He is back with some swimming, how things went down when he went from planned freshwater swim to suddenly saltwater swim, 2.4 miles, and how he did. I love talking to him. He is a blast to have on the show. Hopefully we'll have him on in the future more as he continues to grow and expand his ultra stuff. So let's go ahead. Here is Mike Derksen.
Am I there?
Dude.
All right, let me go headset. I know that's important.
Okay. Can you hear me right now? Can you hear me now?
Absolutely.
Let's start recording right from the beginning.
Got it.
Got it. Oh no.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go. Go. Wait.
All right.
Go.
False start.
False start.
Back
Go.
to the blocks. Back to the blocks.
Did you see in the Olympics where the guy false started in a track race? I don't know. It was like 200s or 400 or 800.
It was an automatic DQ.
You DQ.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't play.
Ridiculous. That is so stupid.
Totally.
There must be a reason that they've had to do that. Okay, let me see. You're kind of quiet. Can you get the mic closer to you, or
am I quiet?
I don't know. Now it sounds like you're scratching.
Oh, my headphones are down. That shouldn't affect the microphone, though.
Oh my God.
How about that?
No, that's worse. But wait, maybe it silenced you a little bit because of the noise.
How about now?
Worse. How about now?
Headphones are supposed to make life easier.
Why is it so quiet?
I'm just a soft-spoken dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You just keep to yourself on the podcast for the entire universe to listen to.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Is it going to be doable? Are you going to pick it up? Or?
Yeah, I've got audio balancing software. Wait, you talk. I got a little leveler here. Let me see what it says. You talk.
Okay. Happy to be back for round 2.
That sounds pretty. I think it's about the same.
Okay. Well, I'll try and speak into the mic.
Oh my God, no! Thank you.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, last couple shows have been great, dude.
Nice, thanks, man. Which one did you like? Let's see. I remember.
Well, the interview with Danny was really amazing.
Oh, the fat metabolism.
Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got my. I mean, we seem to operate on this like, oh, how am I going to get used to 250 to 300 calories per hour for 12 hours, and it's just overwhelming. And then she's like, well, no, not necessary.
Yeah.
We have these assumptions in the sport just because we've always done it that way, kind of like with your flat pedal thing. It's like, well, that's what you do.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, well, wait, to the metabolism thing, I'm going to try for a little bit eating coconut chips. You could buy just coconut chunks, right? But you can buy, I guess, dried out coconut chips and snack on those. And they're high in, pretty much all the calories come from fat and from MCT oil. And then the other calories are super slow, long burn from the fiber. They're crazy high in fiber. And so instead of eating potato chips, you could eat coconut chips. It'd be kind of cool.
between that and all the UCAN stuff you're doing, that could move the needle.
Yeah, the UCAN is really fascinating. I've gotten to the point now where that's what I take before I go swim for an hour, and I have no bonk, nothing. So
how far before you hit the pool? Because
you take it. I take it as I'm about to head out the door, and then it's 30 minutes before I'm in the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Hey, congrats! I saw your tweet on the. You did an Ironman swim in an hour in the pool with the whole bilateral breathing thing.
Bilateral, and then
tell me about that.
If people want to, I'm glad you brought that. It's almost like we planned this. If you want to, you can go whatever day that was. And today is, so that would have been Friday the 28th, because today's the
30th.
You can look at my tweets. They won't show up because they're at tweets, so you have to go to my Twitter feed and look at this guy that I'm arguing with, that I eventually had to block him because he said, I wouldn't say he was like really name calling, but a couple of times he got kind of ugly and said something was asinine. And I go, I got better. I'm 43 years old now, and I don't have to listen to people call me asinine. And so, and in Zen, the art of saying no, and I was like, I'm just gonna block it. That's the ultimate. You get in your last word, and then the next thing, the very last part of your sentence, you type is "and blocked" like that, and then you block them.
It's like a mic drop moment, right?
Yeah, and then like you got in the last word of your argument. I don't know what he said after that because I was gone. I couldn't hear him. But so bilateral swimming straightens out your stroke. And the problem is, the very good argument against it is, well, you don't get enough oxygen, right? Because you're not breathing every time on one side. And what I did was I actually drew a graph, and it's in my tweet at one point to this guy. And there's nothing wrong with the guy. He was just arguing what he thought was true. But it goes back to what you were saying with believing what is just been told and said without actually investigating or doing a scientific investigation. And if, yes, you should definitely breathe every time on one side, zone 3 and up. Definitely. If you go out and jog and bike, if you go run and bike and get into zone 3, time your breathing. And your breathing is about every 3 seconds or something like that. And if you time that with your stroke, it's about the same as every time on the right side or left side, whatever. Single-sided breathing. Once you drop down to zone 2, your breathing's more like every 5 seconds. And maybe 4.5 to 5. And if you time that with breathing, alternating breathing, bilateral breathing on your right. For people that don't know, it's breathing on your right, stroke on your right, left stroke, right stroke, then breathe on your left as you take a stroke, right stroke, left stroke, then breathe on your right. And the whole point is why would you do that? And it's because when you lift your head, even just twist your head barely to the side to breathe, it causes drag. And I'm going to get the number wrong. Water is 700 times thicker than water, something like that. So any amount of drag in the water is bad. Mm-hmm. And so if you can minimize it, that's great. But the thing you need more than anything is oxygen, so you don't want to compromise oxygen. But if you do the math, and I made a graph, and I spent a long time trying to figure this out, like how to graph it, the curves of when bilateral, the speeds at which it becomes, the efforts at which it becomes not useful anymore. Mm-hmm. So after a certain point, after you start getting into high zone 2, low zone 3, you start needing to breathe more, and then now you're just cutting yourself off. You can't swim as fast as you need because you're not breathing as much. You're going hypoxic is what they call it. Probably black out. And then you need to do one single-sided breathing to get in enough air, because now your effort is up and you're burning through oxygen at a higher rate. And this guy was like, well, I can't even think of some of the arguments he was saying, but, this is ridiculous. And I said, well, it's like on the bike or on the run, measure how many times you breathe. He's like, well, oxygen's readily available and on the bike and on the run. And I'm like, well, if you don't need to breathe as often because your effort's slow enough, it doesn't matter if it's available or not. And then he was like, well, everybody that's fast that I've ever heard of is single-sided breathing. And I said, yes, everybody that's fast that you've ever heard of is single-sided breathing. These people are all in the Olympics.
And they are not in zone 2 when they're in the Olympics.
They are in zone 4 and 5, and if you're not making it to the Olympics. And then
I doubt he had data about whether those Olympic athletes bilateral breathed during long, slow sets when they were training.
And how fast are their long, slow sets, right?
Way faster than mine.
Way fast. They're like super, super fast. Fast enough to qualify for Kona without really trying all that hard. I would say, this is all age grouper based, right? This is not...
Sure.
Dude, once you get pro, those people are going zone 3 pretty much the whole time. Maybe
which is
part of the
crazy.
Swim, maybe some zone 2, maybe, I guess. I don't know. But they're going pretty freaking hard. So, because they train all day. And
just below their, like, the equivalent of an FTP test.
But if you're an age grouper and you're trying to keep things mellow so that you last as long as you can before you explode, before you bonk, zone 2 is a nice place to be. You try to get as fast as you can in zone 2.
Right, through efficiency.
Yeah. And, now the thing is the craziest thing is in super fast short swimming in the Olympics, in the 50-meter, I looked at the survey. They were interviewing the top swimmers. They go, how often do you breathe when doing a 50-meter sprint? Dude,
twice.
9 out of 10 was none. Right? But that goes to show they hold their breath to keep their head down because it's so much faster.
Right.
You do not want to breathe. You don't want to lift your head unless you have to. So anyway, we go back to the... I made this graph, and it's on Twitter. I posted it, maybe even Instagram, but I posted it, a graph of suddenly bilateral breathing has such a diminishing rate of return where it's not useful. Because you're starting to need to breathe more. And then for a long time, harder and harder efforts, single-sided breathing is very useful. But there's an overlap where bilateral breathing is faster than single-sided breathing. Just a tiny bit of overlap, right? Because at the edge of needing to breathe single-sided, because you're going that hard, you're having to lift your head. Well, you're lifting your head is causing drag, which is slowing you down, and you're not quite putting out the effort yet to overcome that extra drag speed-wise. So it's actually a little bit slower. And then
I get what you're saying.
If you increase effort just a little bit more, then all of a sudden, your speed is more valuable and it's overcoming the extra drag from single-sided breathing. But anyway, there's like an overlap, just a tiny bit, maybe like 2%, 5%. Where single-sided breathing, the top end of bilateral breathing is just a tiny bit, is faster than single-sided breathing. And the more you train at it, and the more you straighten out your stroke, and the more you relax, the faster that will get. And I've been working on it, and I got mine up to the point of a full Ironman swim at 1 hour on the dot. Swimming bilateral, trying to keep relaxed and just keeping it even. And
so in the past, just as a direct comparison, when you were doing just standard right side breathing, and you would do a 4250, were you at about an hour before? Because really,
yes.
you have to compare with yourself.
Yes, but I was struggling to make it an hour.
I see.
So my heart rate is in zone 3, and I'm pushing it pretty good, moderate to make an hour. And with this guy was saying, and I'm really not trying to harp on this guy or anything like that. He's got valid points, right? Because everybody's going to be saying this. Well, what about this and what about that? I said, well, what about you're limiting oxygen? And it's like, well, if I was limiting oxygen, I wouldn't have been able to swim for an hour.
Right.
I'm like, I am very much just. You could limit oxygen for a little while, but eventually it's going to, in a minute or two, it's going to catch up with you. So you are definitely just settled in and just cruising along, or else you wouldn't be able to do it for an hour, right? You can't, if you're limited on oxygen, it's just kind of, it just wouldn't work. So
you didn't get anaerobic.
No. And then, so I'm but with the bilateral, if you relax and at first you're actually going to be a bit slower because you're not good at it and your technique is off, and bad technique slows you down. So then but over a few weeks, my bilateral has gotten smooth enough and straight enough where every week I was getting about in an hour I was getting about another 50 yards out of it, and maybe about 50 yards, and then just like clockwork, swimming relaxed and just smooth, and working on just smooth and even. I just showed up at the wall and I'd done it in an hour, and I'm wearing a really accurate watch. It's got every single lap on there. Nothing's wrong. I didn't miss a lap or anything like that. 42.75 in 1 hour and like 9 seconds or something like that. So
wow.
you subtract some time and half a lap, and then boom, you're at 42.50. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy crap. And as I was doing it, I have a counter on my watch that beeps on a minute 25.
Yeah,
and that's the interval you need to do for to do this, minute 25 per 100. And so I was hitting the wall
consistently.
Yeah, actually, I was starting to beat it. The more smooth I got, and that's all without stopping to refuel, not stopping to drink, and on UCAN. Back to the original thing that you mentioned, which is a very slow burn carb. And
nice.
I finished feeling like I'd done a yoga session. Actually, is what it felt like. Yeah.
So now's a really great time for you to plug your ZenTri discount code for UCAN, the sponsor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Where is it? I think it's ZenTri.
Is it?
I think it's just ZenTri. I have to look it up. So
it'd be great if you could get them and Amrita to have the same discount code.
I know. Somebody told me my Amrita discount code's not working. But on that note, I get out of the pool and I shower up. I'm still not hungry. My watch says I burned like 800 calories or something like that.
Jeez.
And then other metrics are like 9 strokes per lap. Somewhere between, it's like 8.5 strokes per lap. That's one side, right? So it's really like 18. It's between like 17 and 18. And then people, if y'all want to improve your swim time, set a timer on your watch for your goal, your target pace for 100s, and have it beep. And every time you do a 50 or a 100, you try to meet that beep. And you can hear it underwater, and you can just keep going and learn to pace yourself and what that pace feels like and how to settle in. And then you do that for a week, and then remove a half a second or a second. And then it's barely perceptible, but it forces you to speed up just a tiny, tiny bit.
Yeah, so the event that I did, I was a little surprised to see that while I met my goal, spoiler alert, it went really well, but I was surprised to see that my pace per 100, because I use a Garmin 910, so I got the GPS and I get distance and pace and all that. And I was very surprised to see that in spite of being in a wetsuit in salt water, my pace was a couple seconds slower than like some of the longer distance stuff that I would do in the pool by itself. Because you always hear about like, oh, wetsuits make you faster. Well, I didn't have the wall to push off. I swim in a standard 25 short course yard pool, and flip turns are quick. So I'm wondering if my pace in open water with a wetsuit was slower, even though I met my goal. And it was the same pace as I had done previously in the 70.3s for half the distance. So it was a success because I was able to go twice as far at the same pace as I had before I started this project.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
So there's things you got to look at, like, okay, so was the swim measured long? Was it choppy? Did you? And then you're swimming. There's no way around it for so many of us, me included. 25-yard pool is all I got. So you get out and you start swimming in a lake, and all you've been doing is a 25-yard pool. Your shoulders just go, oh my God, because you're so used to that break. And every like 25 seconds.
Well, for you
get a nice break. It's like, oh my God, this is crazy. So one way around that is a drag chute. I think we talked about that, didn't we? Did you try a drag chute?
I did not. You mentioned it, but it was right before the event. I didn't have any time to modify anything up.
A drag chute will pretty much double the time it takes for you to get across the pool. So it's almost...
That sounds terrible.
Well, but it kind of changes your 25-yard pool almost into a 50-yard pool.
Interesting. Sure.
In a weird way. Anyway, so was the water choppy? Oh, what was the race again?
Okay, so it was called the Catfish Swim. It was supposed to be in a reservoir, and a couple weeks before, we had some hot weather in California, so they moved it out to Berkeley because the water conditions in the reservoir were disgusting. So it was at the Berkeley Marina, 2.4-mile swim, and then you had the option of paying a couple extra dollars, and they threw on a 3.5-mile run at the end. So I did that. Like, why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah.
I want to get my $100 worth, so I want the so.
So we've gone from fresh water all of a sudden to salt water,
right?
Yeah.
It ended up a couple 100 yards short. So if you believe the GPS, it was just about 200 yards short. Which
GPS were you wearing? Which one?
The 910 XT, the Garmin 910.
Not a 920, a 910.
No, right.
And then 910's a little bit bigger. That adds a little bit of drag.
Yeah, it's the
like
same
a
thing I
second
use in
or
the
so.
pool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, what was the chop like?
Did I send you a pic? I don't know if I texted.
So.
Anyway, let's just start from the beginning. I had no coconut milk or almond milk in the morning, so the plan of starting out with some steel cut oats didn't happen because I didn't want to do it with just water. So I fueled with maltodextrin in the morning, and I got one. I don't remember which bar I had, but I had one bar, and then the plan was to have a caffeine goo about 15 to 20 minutes before the start, and that was it. And turned out to be just enough because I didn't want just liquid.
Right.
One of my biggest concerns was the cold. And so the very first thing I did when we got down there, and we got down there with plenty of time to spare, was I walked down to the dock and put my hand in the water. And instantly that worry went away. I couldn't believe it. It was almost 70 degrees. It was
nice.
Normally when you put your hand in San Francisco Bay, it's like, I'm not going to do this. But it was actually very comfortable. I look out over the water, and the marina was almost dead calm. Like you could water ski on it. Yeah. I was really impressed. So, tip of the day was...
you did send me a picture. It looked like a mirror.
Yeah. It was like with the sun coming up over it was like, are you kidding me? This is the ocean? Well, I mean, it's not. It's the bay. But so I had this small list of things I was concerned about, right? I was worried about impact from a mass start. I was worried about the temperature of the water. I was worried about the wetsuit being so tight. Remember we talked about me giving myself a wedgie, get that really up there so I free up the shoulders. Remember that?
Yeah. Did you do a sleeved or a sleeveless? I
only have a sleeve. I have a Blue 70 Helix suit, and it's the only one I own.
Did your arms get tired towards the end? Fighting the sleeves? Okay, good.
No, we'll get to that. I was like, I got through the halfway point, and I was like, I feel like we're just getting started. It was amazing.
Oh, so wait, so that's a 7, what's the brand? And
Blue
model?
70.
Blue 70.
And it's the Helix.
Okay, so people need to know that so that if they're looking for a sleeved wetsuit, it didn't bother your arms
No,
with
it
restriction
has
or anything like that.
the main chest panel is actually split into two and has some little stretchy right in between it. So it gives
nice.
really well when you're reaching. So
Cool.
I got it a couple years ago for just under $700. So it's not like it's not like crazy expensive, but it's definitely
Yeah, they make more expensive.
Yeah, but it's not an entry level. It was in my budget, so that's what I did.
Okay.
So I had all these concerns, but talking to you before, I was like, okay, you're right. You can't change anything now.
Yeah.
And just as a reminder, I had used Dan on Slow Twitch has this guppy program. It's 10 weeks. It's 3 to 5 swims a week, and you just follow the plan. It's about 2,000 yards each. And I was doing 6,000 to 8,000 yards a week. If you're faster than me, then he's got a second one, the Tarpon Challenge, which I've kind of started on that now.
Cool.
Which is more like 3,000 yards at a shot. But I just kind of like ground away at it.
Is that,
my number one?
Do you? I haven't been on there. Do you reply and like? Is there like a forum where you kind of chat about that kind of stuff with as you're doing that program?
Yeah, he did. I think he's put up, started it over a couple of times, like with a couple of years in between. But you can find this on the Google, no problem. And I just downloaded all 10 PDFs. It's free. I had some questions, and when I put them up on Slow Twitch, I got responses. But it's really straightforward stuff. There's, base set with drills, and then there would be a main set of either, 10 by 100 on an interval, or once in a while there'd be a longer 1,000-yard time trial to kind of dial in your interval. It mixes it up really well. Like one of the ones was 3-2 breathing. So breathe every third stroke followed by every 2 strokes. Left, right, left, left, right, left. So there was some pattern work. Just a few. There's a lot of creative things that were built into it, and it was without having a real coach, or it just gave me something to work from.
Right.
So I show up. I put my.
Well, I want to say people that are listening and thinking about Ironman swimming or half Ironman, the swims are so long that you got to train. You can't do swim team. You can kind of do regular swim team training and swim team workouts for this stuff. But you'll show up and race day you'll swim about 5 minutes into the thing. You'll be exhausted because the longest thing you've done is 5 minutes, without taking a break, probably. Maybe a 500, maybe like 8-10 minutes or something like that. And then, in swimming, a 500 is like the biggest thing that you do most of the time. And so what you do is kind of like what you're saying is you do long stuff, but then you add variety in it, right? And that keeps you from getting bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of like short, fast 50s to dial in form, but there was also some longer intervals. It was a good mix. It wasn't designed to be an Ironman swim prep program in any way. Yeah. It was just something I found, and it had the structure and it had the time commitment that I wanted, which was about 40 minutes of workout. And that's
good enough.
And I figured somebody smarter than me put it together, so I'm just going to go for it. Right? The whole point of this was to become a better swimmer, and the event itself felt like a victory lap, because I had done what was in my control, and race day is never in your control. There's just things you can't predict. So I went into it very zen, if you will, about it. What's really interesting is, if you recall the last interview, I had said, oh yeah, well, I've got these new goggles, so I'm sure it won't fog. My number one problem the entire day was fogging goggles, even though they were new.
New goggles. And they fog.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
I like to put my swim cap on, like put on my goggles first and then put the swim cap on.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get them knocked off.
Okay.
So while I was waiting, because I had put them on, I put my goggles up on my forehead. And they steamed up while they were there, and they never cleared.
Yeah. I could see that happening.
And I don't know whether...
They steam up from your body heat, and then when you hit the cold water, the steam stays inside.
Yep.
The humid air, and so they just keep
and I didn't
fogging.
want to rinse them because it was salt water, and I didn't want to get salt water in my eyes.
So the humid air on the inside condenses against the cold air the cold goggle lenses because the bay water is colder.
Yeah.
And the water condenses against those, and that's you could just you could have you wearing contacts? I forgot.
No, I do for regular life, but they're not bad enough that I need them.
So you could have rinsed them out, and then you probably would have been okay.
Right. So I had set my watch to give me an alert. And it makes matters worse is I was also wearing a neoprene cap. I had
warm.
the blue 70 one, and I'm like, we had talked about ice cream headache, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. We're just,
that's true.
We'll wear it, and because I didn't want to use double caps or anything. So anyway, so then it would have been extra hard to rinse the goggles once I got started because it was underneath all that chaos. So we jump in the water, and we're it's an open water start, but we can stand. So when I was standing, the water was up to like mid chest. So I was able to like standing kind of in the mud and the muck right there. But I was waiting for that cold water down the back zipper to kind of give me that initial chill. And the water came in, and it was never, I was never cold.
It was all the people peeing around you.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Like, gosh, this water sure got warm around me.
But
that's also another reason not to rinse out your goggles near all those people. Because
fair enough.
Kind of yellow in my goggles.
Yeah, nice. That's a visual image for you.
Yeah.
So there were about 30 people. They started all the 2.4 mile swimmers first, whether or not they were doing the run. So there was about 30 people. About 4 of them were wetsuit free because they had a non-wetsuit division. But there was about 30 people at that start, and then there was probably 40 or 50 people in the 1.2 mile swim. And those people started 5 minutes after we did. So they let us get started first. So I got a picture. When my buddy took a picture, I'm in the back on the right. I'm like, there is no glory making it to the first buoy, and I'm not giving up. I'm willing to give up an extra 30 seconds to just not have that contact at the beginning.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So I had set my watch to go off, give me an alert every 500. Well, this is where not practicing kind of got to me, because by wearing the neoprene head hood, I missed like half the alerts. So I lost track.
What do you mean the alerts?
Because I couldn't hear them.
Oh.
It'll vibrate and make a noise. Well, in the midst of everything that was going on.
Yeah.
So I heard the first one, and it was right before the first buoy. And I never heard the second one.
Yeah.
And then I heard the third, I think. But anyway, I started to lose track because, you just kind of put your head down and get in a groove. And every now and then you look for the buoy and you keep going. So I get to the first
this is
lap.
So classic. Anyway, and you practice everything in the pool, and then under race conditions, just the freaking steering wheel goes out the window. And it's like, hold on.
What's that quote? No strategy survives its first encounter with the enemy.
Yeah,
Have
first
you heard
contact, it's over. Yeah. So a couple things. Looking at your watch, one trick people can practice in the pool is rolling over on their back and doing some backstroke for a second, and you can see your watch while you're still moving.
Okay.
And then another thing is practicing looking at your watch while swimming to your side, kind of while swimming freestyle. I do it because I'll swim, and then I kind of want to see, I need to get out of the pool at a certain time. And so I kind of keep my eye on the time, and doing so while swimming, I consider it, I'm doing double duty training. I'm kind of
sure.
You're doing a 2.4 mile race swim, and you want to see if you're halfway through yet, because you're trying to meter out your energy. Having practice looking at your watch while swimming is a nice skill.
That would have been really awesome if my goggles hadn't been fogged up.
There's that.
Sounds like the perfect storm.
Yeah. So the other thing with the goggles, the fastest way to get your goggles, you dip your head underwater and lift your goggles up while they're underwater. Just pull them away from your face a little bit. Water rushes up in there, and then lift your face up above water, and then with your thumbs pull the bottoms of the goggles away from your eyes, and water will run out, right? and then when you open your eyes, your goggles are clear, and you've defogged your goggles, sort of. You can push them up on your forehead a little bit while you're doing all that, and then you won't, get water all in your eyes and stuff like that, and then you won't lose your cap either. But it's a skill, like you just practice it.
Sure. Well, and we'll get to it, but it probably would have saved me more time than it would have taken to do it because,
definitely.
We'll get there because on route, the one time I had to stop was because I was going off course, and we'll get to that. That's lap 2.
Okay.
But basically, there was very minimal contact at the beginning.
Yeah.
Really? There were
That's good.
Yeah, very little. Again, I was on the outside edge, but I'm kind of tracking along. I breathe left, which is why I lined up right. I'm left-handed.
Keep an eye on everybody.
And I kind of kept an eye and just kind of getting in a groove. And I have found in training that I really do warm up after 1,000 yards. That's really when I kind of get into a groove. And sure enough. And so at the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is stressful. There's anxiety. The heart rate's elevated. But I just kind of, because I had done some of these longer intervals, I knew that when I hit 1,000, I'd be cool.
Yeah.
And sure enough, when I got to the second buoy, which was about 1,000, I kind of found a zone. And at that point, there was nobody really near me, and I was able to keep going on my pace, and everything just kind of relaxed. So I get through lap 1 exactly at 37 minutes.
Okay.
Which was...
That's good.
Yeah, I was totally happy with that. Oh, hang on a second. Here, Tina. And, but that kind of worried me because I didn't think I was going all that hard. And so I'm like, I'm either way ahead of schedule because the goal was to be at 40 minutes. And here I am coming in at 37. And that's when I realized, and I hadn't heard any alerts or very few. So I didn't know, and I couldn't really see the distance on my watch. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess we're on pace. But I got really excited because at that effort, I knew that since the goal was to break 120, I knew I was on pace, and I didn't feel like I had been really pushing it. So that was a real shot of adrenaline for me. And even though there weren't very many people behind me at that point, this was definitely a me versus me thing.
Yeah.
I got caught by the leaders of the 1.2 mile race right about the middle of the first lap. There's just some people that know how to swim, but I was not right in the...
They were probably single-sided breathing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So then second lap, it's interesting because if you look at the map that my Garmin produced at the end, I got off course the same place both laps. And what it was there was, because my goggles were fogged, what I would do is when I'd round a buoy, I would find the buoy, but then I'd find a reference point behind it that was bigger, like a building, or like as you're coming into the final stretch, you're coming back to the marina, there was a really tall sailboat. And so I wouldn't try and sight the buoy. I would try and sight that sailboat or the building. Well, on this one leg, there was nothing. There was nothing to sight.
Yeah,
and
so you can kind of drift.
I would, and the only time other than the halfway point where I had to actually stop was because a kayak is like, dude, you got to go that way. So, okay. And I could totally see it on the map. There's almost a right angle turn. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So, it's
bad news when it's a kayak that's not even involved in the race. If you find yourself
stand-up paddler out.
You're so off course that people are like, "Are you okay? The race? Are you in that race that's over there?" You're like, "Oh yeah, sorry."
Yeah, no, he caught me pretty quick. So it's just a little blip in the map. But so I round the last buoy, and that's when the excitement started to happen because I knew, oh, dude, I've only got 500 yards to go. This is gonna be great. But I thought I saw somebody behind me, and I'm like, there's no way after 2-point-something miles I'm gonna get past. Because even though it wasn't really a race, it was.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So
it's a race within a race.
Yeah, so I kind of dialed up the intensity a little bit for the last 500 and felt like I really had gas in the tank. It was going well. And I got to the end, and they had this little floating dock next to the dock, and there were people on it, and they were dragging people up. Have you ever seen something like that, where it's like an inflatable, and then they just grab your arms, and they pull you on, and you slip up? And so I did that, and they're like, don't get up. I'm like, why? And I'm really glad they said that, because they had me crawl from that foam thing onto the main dock, and then there was somebody there to help me stand up, because I had never done anything this long before. And by the way, I finished in 114, so exactly
that's good.
Double the 37.
Yeah. So very even pacing.
Yes, and so even though it's probably 200, it was like 200 short, I still broke my target goal of 120.
All right, we need to mention UCAN. UCAN is a super starch. This is really cool stuff. It's a super slow-acting carbohydrate, almost to the point of your body doesn't know what it's doing. It's like we're getting energy from somewhere else is happening. And it's really great for swimming. You want to go swim for an hour and not be needing to, take sips from a bottle on the side. Your coach hits you over the head with a kickboard, like my coach used to do. Quit jacking around. Get back in the water. Quit being lazy at the wall. Keep on swimming. And you can do this, and especially in races, right? You're going to do an Ironman. You're going to be in the water for an hour. You're doing a half Ironman. You're going to be in the water for half an hour plus. You're going to be going and going and going. You don't have a chance to drink or refuel out there. You can't drink out of a bottle while you're swimming. Well, you kind of can with UCAN, because UCAN is a very, very slow drip carbohydrate. And so it slowly releases into your system, so you can kind of preload with this stuff before you're going to do something long. It also kind of saves your teeth from all that sugar, right? Because you can power this stuff down. It's actually pretty easy to drink. And then you have energy for like an hour, hour and a half from this stuff. This is really cool. So it comes in different flavors. You have chocolate. You have some stuff with some protein added in if you want that, and some electrolytes added in if you want that. And they also have orange, tropical punch, and all this different stuff. And so what I do is I get up in the morning, I drink. I have a little bit of breakfast, a tiny little bit of breakfast, some coffee, and then right before I leave to go to the pool, I drink a bottle of UCAN pretty quickly, and then by the time I get to the pool, you got your energy, you feel nice and good. That's slow release, and it just works, man. It's really amazing, and it's actually helped me break the habit of needing sugar by the side of the pool. I think I've pretty much turned around, pretty positive. I've turned around my needs for sugar by using UCAN. I've become much less sugar dependent and way more fat enhanced metabolism going on, and I did it through using UCAN. The latest thing that I've done with it is one time I did it half the swim, but my latest was I did a full swim nonstop butterfly for 1 hour after drinking UCAN. 3,150 yards, nonstop, all butterfly, drinking UCAN. Before I got to the pool, chocolate flavored was what I did, and I just swam easy, smooth, and did the whole thing. I posted the workout. You can go check it out. It was crazy, and I plan on doing it more because it was actually fun. It actually wasn't even all that hard. I just kept it easy. And you can do the same kind of stuff, a long, continuous workout, hour and a half, without needing the fuel by pre-fueling with UCAN. Check it out. You go to UCAN's website, and they have the opportunity for you to put in a discount code. If you use discount code ZenTri, ZenTri, all caps, you can get it 15% off. How about that? That's pretty cool. And then they turn around and send a little bit this way to ZenTri itself. And man, if that's not a good advertisement for these guys, this stuff works. It's awesome. I love it. You can get a discount. You can support ZenTri. Get on it. Get on it. Break all that sugar. Break that habit, man. Get on something that's a little bit better for you with some UCAN. All right, let's get back to the episode. Here we go.
I put my knee underneath me, and then I put a foot down, and I tried to stand up. And I'm glad there was somebody to catch me, because I would have fallen right back in the water from being horizontal for over an hour to standing up. I mean, you've done it multiple times, right? And so I was like,
It's funny, when you come out of the water, you have to guard yourself. It takes one or two experiences of this. One time you're kind of like, this is a fluke. The second time you're like, okay, this is a thing. Where the overly enthusiastic people helping you out, like in an Ironman, because there's still a whole lot more racing to go. And so they're like, come on, and they grab you, and they start pulling you out of the water. and you are not ready to go that fast yet, right? And so people kind of stumble around all dizzy, like they're going to pass out. And then also they'll tear your $700 wetsuit because there's the wetsuit strippers, the people that pull your wetsuit off. And I've had to tell people, whoa, slow down.
Yeah. And they got nails.
Yeah. And I've got fingernail tears in my in one of my wetsuits from people doing that, from pulling it off so fast.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
So at that point, basically the work is done because I had no expectations for the run, and a 3.5 mile run is just more of a
so you ran a 5K plus after setting your PR on a swim.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I felt it was important to do that is if this was just to kind of have the experience of what's it like to do an Ironman swim event, I didn't want to just finish the swim and sit down. I wanted to know how does my body react after doing this for the next step. That was kind of the thinking behind doing that. And I'm glad I did that because, I'm sitting down and pulling off the wetsuit, pulling on some running shorts and shoes, and took off for the run. And I had planned, water and a goo in the aids, in the transition. And I found my body is not accepting food right away. So if I were to do...
That's interesting. They say that in races. Start eating on the bike about 20 minutes after you get on the bike, because your heart's racing so hard after swimming that hard that you shouldn't even try to eat anything. It's just not a good formula. That's interesting.
Well, I'm really glad that I kind of tested that out, because now I totally know that if I was to sign up for a 140.6, I would already know, okay, bike nutrition starts 10 miles in, or,
it's about 20 minutes.
Don't expect fueling straight out of the gate, and that's okay. It's just it's no longer a question. And so the run was, one guy passed me, but other than that, it was uneventful.
Only one guy. That's pretty cool.
But there was very few people behind me by that point. So
yeah. Well, still.
So, in fact, in my age group, in my division, there were 3 people and 1 DNF'd on the first lap. So I got second place in my division out of 3.
Wow, that's pretty good. And how old are you? What age group are you in?
I'm 48. So I was in the 45 to 49.
All those people out there that think that they can't pick up the swim, it's totally untrue. It's just a little bit more difficult as an adult. But there's all these programs out there. There's swim teams. There's online swimming programs.
Masters.
You can just hear it over and over and over again with pros that came from a cycling or a college track, background.
Yeah.
And they can't swim to save their lives.
But it can be taught. And
then in 2 years or a year, they are, swimming faster than me. They're swimming 55, 50, 52,
right,
something like that. So yeah, you just proved you had just a really big improvement. And the difference is right. It's like
4 months of training. Even
4 months.
It was just 4 months.
Yeah, of consistency and so the thing, like that's obvious from our talking is, dude, if you could swim open water. I coach some people that, they live near a lake and they open water swim once a week.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, oh my gosh, that'd be so great.
Yeah. Well, and I've got access. I just don't have the desire and purpose. I would, if I had somebody, I could go up to San Francisco. There's the aquatic park thing. There's a big swimming thing there. It's not close enough to do that on any regular basis, but I could plan it into a training program and get more than I did this last one. Well,
and honestly, it's sighting. It's the crazy things like fog in the goggles and the there's something else. Swimming in a pack. So like Masters swim team, dude. When it gets crowded in an open water swim, and people bumping into each other, instead of getting angry, I start having reminiscent feelings of of like high school and middle school. I'm like, this is just like it was back when I was a kid. Yay, you know? And so it's just an exposure thing, right? It's a mindset of the contact and stuff. So they canceled the Austin 70.3 swim this weekend
completely.
Heavy fog. And
oh, wow.
I've been in a race. It was a sprint or an Olympic where we were about to start the swim and you could not see, 20 feet.
No, see, that's...
And I'm like, we're not really doing
issue.
this, are we, people? And they're like, well, what's the problem? And I'm like, how are you going to... You can't see where you're going. So how are you going to know if anybody cuts the course? If somebody starts yelling they need help and you rush out in your little John boat to go save them, hey, watch your mouth.
You'll take 3 others out on the way to save the one.
You're going to run over like 20 people and then hit them with your prop, trying to save somebody that you can't even see. I'm like, this is crazy. You should not do this. This is bad. And then they just waited a little bit longer and the fog lifted.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like swimming with your goggles fogged up.
It's not the way it's supposed to be, but you get...
Yeah.
It's just a variable you can't control.
No.
Race day, control is an illusion.
Yeah, that's true. You can control your own effort,
right?
And your own mindset.
And so, bottom line, the time was everything I had hoped it would be. The event went awesome.
Yeah.
I no longer consider the swim to be a significant reason not to sign up for an Ironman. There's enough other reasons involved, but there's honestly, you obviously heard the news about Vineman getting purchased and moved, and they're
to Santa Rosa, so maybe.
Yeah, so it's moved to Santa Rosa. The thing that upsets me is not the venue change.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the Vineman 70.3 twice.
Yeah.
It's not the venue change that upsets me. It's that they're moving it to spring. And I give up all those summer months of training. Being fit and ready to go by early spring kind of takes it off the calendar for me.
Yeah. See,
which is too bad.
That's the thing. Okay. That's a good point. Where I live, I just did Whistler, which was Ironman Canada, which is late summer. It's the end of July. And I had to train through the Texas summer for that. And my God, I think I'm never going to do that again. I about died. That is so insane, right? And Ironman Texas, like these early spring races, I get to train all through the winter, and that's nice here.
Okay.
And what you're talking about is you do long workouts training for something in heavy heat or like brutal cold. It's not fun anymore. It's so much work, and it wears you out, and it compromises your recovery time, big time.
Well, we definitely have the heat like you do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had an entire month of 100 degrees this summer, but we don't have the humidity, so the heat index is a lot more doable. Like it's cool enough in the morning that if I get out at 6, I can get in a 4-hour bike ride before things become meltingly difficult. If I'm home by 10, it's 90, but it's still not the kind of humidity that Texas experiences.
Yeah.
So the WTC empire,
the overlord of triathlon.
Yes. I don't know where they keep their Death Star, but I don't have an issue with them helping to standardize. I was bummed that they bought the Big Kahuna in Santa Cruz and turned it into one of their events, but because you're going to lose a lot of the individual flavor. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, I've done a couple and they put on good events. I mean, I can't. If they were that terrible, nobody would sign up.
Yeah.
So I think that next season I may stop seeing the only thing I want to do is long distance and maybe get some speed back and do some sprints in Olympics instead.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot more flexibility of where you can race and when, and they don't cost quite as much, but you still get, for me, an Olympic is a 3-hour day, and that's That's legit. It's not like it's, oh, you're doing the couch to 5K. No, it's the real deal. And I'd love to get my.
Well, when is that Morgan Hill triathlon? It's a half Ironman distance. Is that still going on? That was a tough race, man. That had some good. It's flat, but then there's some really good. The lake. It's the same lake issue. The lake's all dried up, I bet.
Yeah. So in California, USA Productions puts on a circuit of a number of different events, and they still have a long course 70.3 up in Folsom, which is basically it's a suburb, if you will, of Sacramento. So it's in that area. So there are other things out here that can be done. I've done way too much long and slow, and I miss feeling like I've got some snap in my legs. Yeah. So I want to start playing with some intervals and start getting some speed back instead of just, I'd love to go sub 45 in an open 10K. That would be a great goal. Very doable. I haven't picked anything yet. I just don't think that my next thing is to just keep going longer and longer and longer and longer.
Yeah. A fun race calendar would be so funny is to do like super long, like an Ironman or half Ironman, ultra distance, and then alternate that with like sprint or Olympic. Yeah. Just like half Ironman, sprint.
Jeez.
Good luck finding a coach. Ironman sprint, half Ironman sprint. Like you force yourself to do the fast stuff in between, as you're, to take a break from and then each time you appreciate the other one. You're like, oh my God, this is so much different than what I just did. Yeah. 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 Because
training for a fast 5K, I don't think most endurance athletes consider that to be a big deal. But I've done that kind of track work in college. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, you bust out 20 times 400 in 70 seconds. That's a legit workout. That's a totally different experience than I don't think the age groupers put in the interval intensity the way the pros do. Because I'm sure the pros are training that hard, like all the time. But I also feel like my strength has dropped off. I picked up a barbell yesterday, kind of doing that sort of thing. And trying to get what's interesting is in the 6 months of getting ready for this swim, my weight was exactly the same. I did not lose a single pound in spite of the fact that I was getting back in shape. Yeah. I tend to lose weight when I do intervals and weight work.
Yeah. 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 That is 100% true.
I think I'm losing. You're pacing the house.
Oh, am I back? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, now you're back.
Okay. Yeah, you can, endurance work, you can easily compensate the calories with just what you eat.
Swimming makes me hungry, man.
Yeah, swimming's got a little bit of thermo burn because you're in colder water. And to keep your body warm, you burn a little bit of extra calories. And then, especially the colder the water, the pool is. My pool that I swim in, that's basically a sauna. I think it's not fun. People that go look at your pool that you swim in, and I bet you it's probably 78, 75 or something like that, if it's a nice competitive pool. My pool, because old ladies do jazzercise water aerobics in it. Yep. They keep it at 84.
Oh my gosh.
83. That's what I trained in leading up to Tahoe, where it's freaking 59 or whatever. And they're like, why don't wear a wetsuit? And I go, I am not freaking prepared. Dude, I swim in water that's below 70. I freeze. Like within an hour, I'm dizzy and I'm about to pass out. Like I'm medically in big trouble. Wow. Because it's so hot. Yeah. Or it's cold compared to what I'm used to. Right. Cool, dude. Before I let you go, what else you got? What's next? You said you're not really sure yet.
No, I am running a lot more consistently now because I just miss the mileage on the road. That's just kind of I love running was my first love. Yeah. So doing that, and this season, we're gonna have 70 degrees this week. It's perfect running weather. It's just cool enough to be comfortable. I've got basically what looks like a CrossFit gym in my garage. So I've got the wall balls and kettlebells and pull-up bars and squat racks and all that stuff. So I've been doing some of that. I know that it rained today, which was kind of a surprise, but I'm ready to restart my Zwift account so I can get on the bike on the interval trainer.
Oh yeah.
Because I got a smart trainer, so that'll be fun.
Now wait, have you done the smart trainer with Zwift?
Yes.
Okay, what's it like?
It's creepy because it's like it knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So I don't remember which route it is, Watopia or whatever, where they've got that hill climb where it's, and you rank yourself against other people for this climb, like how fast can you get to the top? Well, as soon as I go from level ground to the incline, the trainer clamps down. And I'm like, oh, this is real. So it... and then all of a sudden
this got really real all of a sudden.
Then you get on the backside and you start going downhill and all of a sudden you're free spinning and you're like, what the heck? And so you're like shifting into the big chain ring and so if you got to get stuck in the pain cave, I think a smart trainer really adds to the experience. I know there's a big debate between trainer road versus Zwift. I think there's value in both. I personally get I'm more likely to ride if I'm enjoying it, and Zwift makes it fun for me. So I'm not putting anything scheduled hardcore. I'm keeping my eye out for some Olympics next season. Rather than the real long stuff, I'm going to be focusing on getting my FTP up and trying to get my comfortable zone 2 pace down. Swimming when I feel like it, no real agenda, but don't let it go too long before, if I see if it's been 2 weeks, then oops, better get back in there. But I'm going to just enjoy being able to do different things and take advantage of being healthy. So if you've got any trips out in California, let me know. I'd be happy to put something on the calendar and join you or whatever, but I'm not obsessed over any one particular thing.
Cool.
One last little thing you might want to throw out. There's, I hear so much about MAF training, don't ever do anything faster than zone 2 and you'll eventually get faster. I struggle to believe that doing nothing but heart rate under 130 will ever give me my leg speed back.
Right. So the best example I've heard of that is, let's say you do that. Now, let's say your race you're doing has steep climbs in it, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have to go anaerobic to climb that. There's no other way, or else you're going to have to get off your bike and walk.
Right.
And that is not the fastest way.
Right.
So, and now a race has something that you haven't trained for, and it's going to freaking fry your legs.
Right.
Just 1 or 2 hills in because you haven't been doing anaerobic work. So I think what people say is, periodize it, do a little bit of math. It's just nice, to go back and forth.
Right.
So,
well, I'm tired of jogging along at 9-minute pace, but when I look at some of the results I've had in the last couple of years, my swim pace was 150 per 100. My biking pace in a 70.3 is 18.5 to 19. My run pace is 9:30. Well, guess what? Those are the speeds that I train at all the time. So what do you think? You get good at where you spend your time, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm thinking having some focused run training blocks and kind of get some speed under my legs again, throw some tempo runs in there, really, really enjoy not just longer stuff, but let's get some snap in the legs. Let's build anyway, so my 150 per 100 in the pool, well, guess what? That mirrors many of the leave intervals that I did over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to be doing longer rest, harder efforts on my sprints, on my intervals.
That's really funny. Mike Ritchie, a really good coach, told me one time to guesstimate what you'll do in an Ironman, look at your average speed over all your workouts.
Oh, well, mine are always pretty much the same.
I know, but he's like, it'll probably be right around there, like within just a few seconds. It's like, holy crap, he's right. So if you want to go faster, go faster in your workouts. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there is an element of, if you want to, my run volume, if I want to build my run volume back up to 40 miles a week, if I try and do that, at 7:30 pace, I will destroy myself. So there is something to be said for, as you're building volume, you need to keep the effort level lower, because the stresses is coming from the volume.
Right.
But then once my body adapts where 40 miles a week is just like, yeah, no, I'm good. Then you throw in some spice.
Exactly.
Right?
If you're increasing volume, do not increase intensity. In fact, maybe even back it off. In fact, that's probably a really good idea. And then if you're decreasing volume, or if you're increasing intensity, decrease volume.
Sure.
Yeah. If you try to increase volume and increase intensity because you're getting all amped because you think you're Superman because you're getting faster, then bam, you're going to pull an Achilles tendon or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it doesn't take that much. You don't have to do 20 miles a week of interval training.
Oh, no.
It doesn't take much at all to really kind of kick it into the next level. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. It's very little.
All right, man. Well, you are running circuits in your house. You've been you're pacing like crazy.
Oh, you can hear me pacing?
I can see you. Do you know the camera's on, right?
Oh, look at that.
I've seen your entire house like 14 times.
Hey, check it out. You like my house?
I do.
Okay.
I like your ceiling fans.
Look at my, there's Kona.
Oh.
And there's our problem child, Zoe.
Oh, in the cage.
In the cage.
Nice.
She knows her place.
Crate trained. Yeah, crate trained.
Oh, I thought we turned
is that where
on
Emily puts you?
The camera was on and I didn't see you earlier, so I thought that.
Are you not seeing me?
No. But it's cool.
Oh.
No, I've been pacing because.
You got your car keys in your hand too, so I get the feeling we're.
Look at me. I'm supposed to meet Emily for dinner. So.
All right. Well, and I promised my wife I would rebuild a stool for her, so I got to break out the table saw.
Oh. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I told Emily I want to start working on bamboo again, and she's like, That means there's going to be tools everywhere. And I go, I know, but I like working on things with my hands. I work on computers all day. It's all,
right.
Data. You don't actually do anything with your hands. So.
Oh, okay. No, we bought this stool. It's a short stool that sits at a little makeup desk. The top is great. The legs are great. But then those rails that go around the bottom are all made out of like this crappy press board.
Oh,
I'm
so
like,
they're broken.
So it came apart. And I'm like, well, if I just kind of make that out of like cherry or poplar.
Check these out. These are wrought iron right there.
Oh, very nice.
Did I say that like a Southerner Texan? Wrought iron.
Raw iron.
Wrought iron. Just like the cattle guard at the front of the property.
Okay, we've gone off the rails here.
All right, dude. Well, cool, man. Let's catch up with you again after you get some running and a fast race under your feet.
Yeah, will do, man.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll hear from you again. I know where to find you.
Yeah, cool, man.
All right. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
All right. Super cool. Let's go ahead and get started with the training log. This is a real short one. I just recorded a few minutes of training stuff. I've been training usually once or twice a day, an hour each time, sometimes longer on the weekends. I've been babying my feet, actually, because I got plantar fasciitis. I am happy to say I am on the rebound. It looks like it's starting to heal up, finally. I'm using this whopper of a massager that we got for a Christmas present one time that probably weighs 10 pounds and setting it on high and just attacking the hell out of my calves, the tendons, the underside of my feet, the back of my knees, because that's all tendons back in there, and just shaking stuff apart. And listening to Back to Work podcast, which is really good. They were talking about, they didn't really know what they were talking about, but they were talking about plantar fasciitis and sleeping in a boot. And I learned something where don't sleep on your face, because sleeping on your face, point your toes away from your head, and then that crunches up your arches and your calves, and then bam, you wake up in the morning and your feet hurt instead of stretching them out. So sleep on your back or your side, and I've started doing that, and that also was happened I'm always trying all this different stuff. So I'm trying like 4 different things at once. So I don't know which one did it, but that's one of the other things that I'm doing. It seems to be getting better every day, and I'm super, super excited. And so that's where we are with that. And also, before the training log, I should mention Hornet Juice. Hornet Juice is an amino acid mix that you can add to your fuel. I used some today. It was fantastic. A 2-hour ride on the trainer, just super even. Added in some, that was my goal, added in some Hornet Juice, and it fills you up, just gives you a ton of energy because it's an amino acid mix with protein, which turns on your fat burning. So it gives you a real, like, it feels like a diesel engine, how just amazing you feel using this stuff. And so you can get it on the right side of ZenTriathlon.com. There's a link for it, and you can get a 10-pack, 20-pack. They've actually started offering more packs. I need to get that on there. And when you get that, you help support the show. And it's really, really cool stuff. And I get a lot of orders from that. Never a complaint that it didn't work. A lot of, holy crap, this stuff works. How can I get some more? And why can't you send it out faster? I need it before my next race, is what people send me a lot. And that is proof that it works. I've been using it, oh my gosh, 10-something years. And boy, does it come out of the pantry whenever a workout gets serious. So you can try it too. Hornet Juice, sting the competition. That's a slogan I made up for one. They're going to have to run with that. And yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and get into the training log. It's real short, and then we'll wrap up the show. Here we go.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name is Brett. I'm a triathlete.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on, dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
All right, people, let's talk about what is the meaning of life. It's not at all what you think it is, and you're going to love this because this is so cool and so easy to do because you're already doing it naturally. So when Kai was little, I pointed out to him, well, he was like 3 years old. He was looking out the window of the car we're driving along, and he's like, Daddy, the light poles, the power line poles, or whatever we were looking at, are always the same distance, or whatever words he said. 3-year-old talk, 4-year-old talk. Maybe it was 5. But anyway, the whole point is at a very young age, we start recognizing patterns. And patterns are very cool because all a pattern is it's where you start to see, where you can start to predict the future. And that's why we notice them, because being able to predict the future is very handy. It's a survivability technique. And the better you are at it, the more likely you are to outcompete others. And the faster you notice these things, the more resources you'll have at your disposal, and the more you'll avoid catastrophe. And patterns are everywhere. It's always winter, spring, summer, fall, and it's always a full moon on a progressively after the moon cycles through, and while you're running along at night, and if you know the light poles are spaced apart, then you know not to look at your watch and trip and fall and break your arm in the dark like I did, and because you don't need to, because there's a light coming up in just a couple hundred feet anyway, so don't worry about it. And it just goes on and on and on. If this person acts this way and they're dressed this way, it's kind of poor because it's a stereotype. Then maybe staying away from another person that acts that way and dresses that way and is yelling these things is probably a good idea. You catch bank robbers by patterns. You do everything by patterns. People act in patterns. The world acts in patterns, and it's really neat how we humans are pattern noticing machines, and that's how we got to where we are today. And I've known this. Maybe my dad taught me that. My dad's an engineer, and engineers are looking for patterns. If a steel beam fails, 3 of them fail coming out of this one factory, that's a pattern. Don't buy steel beams from that factory. And it just goes on. And my dad and I always talk philosophy and smart stuff growing up. And anyway, back to the thing. So I'm teaching Kai. Those are patterns, and the light poles are patterns, and that's why you find it interesting. It's patterns. The fence posts are patterns. Everything's a pattern. Now, of course, there is a lot in the world that is not a pattern, right? But the thing is you barely notice it, if at all. It's there, but it's background noise. It's just white noise. And on that note, literally, the background noise, white noise, that you hear when a TV is doing that, or a radio channel is doing that, that's literally no pattern. That's the sound it makes when there is no pattern. It's either random or it's one repeating. Well, one repeating tone would be, it may still have a waveform to it. It still might be a wave pattern. So sound is a wave pattern. And, it just goes on and on. You can tell where somebody's from by the way that they talk in a pattern. Their Texas drawl or their Southern drawl, the way they always say this one thing. If something happens once, you kind of raise an eyebrow, then you kind of let it go. Happens 2 times, then you're like, okay, this might be a pattern. Then it happens 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, you're like, whoa, this is a pattern. And it's a pattern of behavior, right? And the things you notice usually are patterns, and the things you don't notice are noise. There's still things there, but they're not interesting because they're not useful. And there's a joy in being right. And when you argue, you're arguing to be right. And when you find a pattern, and you're the first one to that conclusion, this is why people love conspiracy theories, because you're trying to find a pattern when there isn't one, and you're trying to make one up. And when you hallucinate from various reasons, even especially, what are those? An isolation tank is a chamber where there's no incoming stimulus. And within just a few seconds to maybe a minute or 2, your brain starts going into wild hallucinations because it's trying to make a pattern out of nothingness. That's how bad we want to see patterns, because we're really successful at using them. Okay. So you see a pattern first before anybody else. You probably get a release of dopamine, endorphins, and makes you feel good because, again, you're beating somebody else to the pattern, so you might get a resource before they do. This is hardwired into your evolutionary brain. And sorry, I was looking at somebody and they were giving me a weird look, which isn't unusual. But I was watching a YouTube video put on by 2 world-renowned philosophers. It was put on by somebody else, trying to get 2 world-renowned philosophers to argue, debate, and they said at the beginning they're not really debating each other because they agree more on and then they disagree on what is the meaning of life, which seems to not even be an answerable question, right? And they spend a good portion of their time saying, this is a ridiculous question because what is meaning? What is life? And that's all kind of a personal input, a personal bias on how significant those things are. But then one of them said, and I'm going to post this video at 50 minutes in, maybe 51, 52 minutes in. It is astounding. One of them says that you go back, all the way back to
Taoism, which is spelled T-A-O, by the way, and that's the Chinese yin and yang era, where that was all started, and it's kind of a predecessor to Zen. I think Zen is a translation of the word Tao when it moved from China to Japan. Anyway, but he said the meaning of life, finding happiness, is pattern recognition. And that got me. I was not expecting that. That came out of left field. And I was like, holy crap, what? Hold on. I went back and listened to this. And because finding pattern recognition from noise strikes a nerve with your primal urges, and it makes you feel good. And then he got even deeper than that. The yin and yang can be, and some of this I interpreted myself, and may have kind of added a little bit to this, but I'm a philosopher as well. Anybody can be a philosopher. It's not special. But the yin and yang is kind of, let's say the white is order and the black is chaos, right? And you need the both. And the balance, the yin and yang is balance, but it's also really what it means is happiness, kind of balance and happiness between the two. So you can't have order. You can't find order unless there's noise, unless there's chaos. And noise is just chaos. It's just randomness, right? Nobody likes randomness, except, like imagine, you had to go into work at a random time every day, and you didn't know until that day. I mean, you'd be pretty pissed off. So that's chaos, right? And it's very stressful. But finding order in chaos is what makes you feel good. So to find order, you need chaos, right? To feel good, you have to have a little bit of stress. And then finding that order is a way to find that order. The way to find that order is patterns. And once you realize a pattern, you can take advantage of it and make use out of the chaos. And now it's no longer chaos. But if there's too much order and everything's really predictable, then what happens? People get really bored. They start going into, they want to entertain themselves with drugs and alcohol and making drama to make their lives more interesting, I do triathlons on the side because just going to work every day isn't very interesting. So you need like chaos, and then you need to find order from the chaos. And you can see this in triathlon itself. So like an Ironman is chaos. It's absolutely, you have no idea what's coming next. You kind of got some idea, but it's really, like you have no idea really what's going to happen that day. And you're really, really happy when you make order, right? When you complete the Ironman, especially if there's like little obstacles here or there that you overcome. And then it gets even crazier than this, is when you are thrown against a wall, and the wall is randomness, and you have to make order out of it. You yourself are randomness in your nature. You don't know your own abilities. You don't know what you're capable of. You don't understand your potential, right? You don't know what you're really made out of. And then when you throw yourself against something where it will sort out what you're really made out of, you'll discover your personality on mile 20 of an Ironman when you're bonking and you feel like crap, and then the aid station doesn't have your stuff that you wanted lemon lime Gatorade, and all they have is ice water, and you're like, and then your real personality starts to come out, and then you're like, whoa, that's really what I'm at down in my core. When you strip everything away, you find out what you're made out of. And that is that's like basically that's the meaning of life, is finding order and chaos, and along the way you find out a little bit about yourself. And it's in this video. It's really cool. And if you start thinking about it, this is everywhere. There was a really good article I read the other day about Batman and the Joker and the movie, the Dark Knight movie, where it had, Christian, what's his name? The guy that played Joker fabulously, better than anybody else a few years back. I can't believe I can't remember his name because it was unbelievably good. And the article was about how to build the ultimate, it wasn't enemy, but how they made the Joker and Batman, and that Batman like the ultimate nemesis. And basically, if you watch the movie, you read this article, because they take clips out of the movie, and you can find this now. The whole point in that movie was the Joker to kill people, injure people, and put Batman up against a wall. And the Joker knows that Batman can't kill. And so the Joker is in a cell with Batman, and Batman's punching him and all this other stuff, and the Joker's just laughing at him. He's like, "You can't kill me. That's your flaw." And the whole point is, he put the directors or whatever, not really the Joker, but they put Batman's character in a no-win situation, just like an Iron Man, just like an ultra-marathon. You can't win. And then, and they literally put the Joker in there with him, and the Joker's like, kill me. You can't. Now what are you going to do? And that moment in the movie, when you realize Batman can't win, now what are you going to do, is where you go deeper into the movie, and it really drew the audience in. And in fact, every good movie, every good story, every good book does this, where it creates a situation of chaos, and then you find the hero of the story can't win against the current situation, so he or she has to change a little bit, and then when they come back to their original home or their original situation, they are a changed person, and they found out a little bit about themselves, something that's different, and so there's growth in them by trying to find themselves against this chaos, right? And we love that. We absolutely love it, because in chaos we found something new that's useful, that's a new tool. And I mean, you could think of the Odyssey that Homer wrote, the Greek epic poem. Odysseus was thrust out into the sea and into the world, and up against unwinnable situations, and had to constantly dodge and weave and to finally come back. And he came back such a different person that nobody recognized him. That's intentional. That's not by accident. That's to show that he had changed. And so in this video, I just found it like absolutely amazing that that they had referenced pattern recognition as the meaning of life. So back to the meaning of life. The meaning of life, something to be happy, but it's to find a space between, is to put yourself in stress, a little bit of chaos, and then try to find a pattern out of it, and then you get these feelings of winning, and that is happiness, and that is propagating your species, and that's the meaning of life. That's where you will find the ultimate happiness, is the balance. And what's so funny is that is Zen flow. Zen flow is the state of doing something that's just a little bit too challenging for you. And that way you're finding it entrances you because you're engaged, because you're trying to beat it. But what they never talk about in Zen flow, and what I learned from this talk, like when you start putting the pieces together, when you start finding a pattern, which gets me all excited, I want to talk about it, is that Zen flow creates growth. It is the indicator of growth and improvement and of figuring out a pattern. And that's why Zen flow is so entrancing. That's why we're going to talk about, if I put it before or after this, it's really important. We're going to talk about bilateral breathing, and it's a pattern. And is it successful? So it's chaotic at first, and then you start finding that it actually works. And then you're like, whoa, this is a new pattern. Am I the first one here, to figure this out? And to start telling people, it's really exciting because you're the first to climb that mountain. And when you're at the top, you can see all around and see things that people haven't seen before. Maybe take advantage of the situation and do something with it. And a good visualization is a hawk and other birds of prey like that. What they like to do, it's called an edge community or an edge species. I took a lot of environmental stuff and wildlife and all that in college, and there's a whole area on this. It's really cool. A really wonderful place for a creature to live is on the edge of a forest. So let's say the forest is chaos, and the grassy field next to the forest is clarity. It's a pattern. The trees kind of random. They're all over the place. You can't really see. You can't walk in a straight line. You can't see more than 20 feet because there's another tree. We're talking about, a forest. It could be darker, right? While a field is actually open. Everything's clear, makes sense. You can see forever. It's really great. And what a hawk does is it sits on the branches on the edge, up in a tree, but on the edge of the forest where it's kind of protected. It's a little bit safe up in there. And it watches the field. And the mouse can't see the hawk in the trees because the hawk is mixed. It's kind of blended in with the trees a little bit. But the hawk can see out into the field, and when it sees a pattern, a little brown thing moving, and then it moves, and it moves. It moves 3 times, and it goes, that's a mouse. And then it zooms down, grabs a mouse, succeeds, and eats, and is happy, winning creature. And the open field and the forest side by side is what makes that happen. And then it goes back to the middle again. Right? It gets out of the field because that's a dangerous place to be. It doesn't want to stay deep in the forest because that's a dangerous place to be. It wants to stay on the edge because in the edge it can also escape the chaos and get out into the openness when it needs to. And you can visualize in your mind that that's also like the yin-yang symbol is chaos, and then the dividing line is the edge of the forest. Let's say the dark side is that's a good Star Wars reference. The dark side is chaos, and the white is the open field, is light and order, and that's how you can visualize it in your mind. And apparently that is the meaning of life, and it's super cool. So go out there and recognize some patterns. All right, I got to go, got things to do, got to lean into things and find some patterns and enjoy the rest of my day. All right, out. All right, back to the training log, leaving the pool. Man, interesting stuff. Doing the bilateral swimming, again, 4,250 yards in an hour flat. And, one of the most interesting things is regardless of whether it's faster, slower, or less oxygen and all that stuff, which I'll get to in a minute. It's definitely, oh man, we got some heavy fog. I can't see. It's definitely more entertaining, and then to settle in with kind of a deep rolling breathing, and you're conscious of it for a little while, and then you're let me adjust the wipers here, and then after a while you just kind of forget about it, and it's just what you're doing. And the fact that it's as fast as a moderate pace single-sided is just really fascinating. It made me think, well, it feels like a yoga session, just deep stretching and breathing and relaxing, and it's allowing you to work on keeping straight, and it's just wonderful. So therapeutic. Settling into something. It feels like you're doing a downward dog for like an hour. It's absolutely amazing. And it makes me think about William Hoff, or Will Hoff. He's a little bit of an older guy, but he's big into breathing techniques and about how much more you can do because you're not, because most people aren't breathing right. Almost all people aren't breathing right, and how calming your breathing can allow you to do more. And one of the analogies I thought of is when you want to swim across a pool underwater, let's say across and back. If you've ever done this a bunch, you learn quickly that actually the way to go the farthest is to not try all that hard. It's actually to calm down your breathing and don't pull very hard. You actually pull gently and glide, and then you don't run out of oxygen anywhere near as fast because you're not using oxygen as much, and so you're just way more efficient per stroke, per time. You're using a lot less oxygen, and the way to test it is go underwater, push off the wall and try to swim to the other side and do underwater breaststroke as hard as you can. Pull, try to get to the other side. You'll notice that you quickly run out of oxygen because all that muscular stress activity is burning through the oxygen in your blood supply, and then you run out. But if you push off underwater and then glide and then take a pull, glide and take a kick, and then glide and then take a pull and then glide like that, your burn rate of oxygen is far lower. And like I was saying with Derksen, is there's an overlap of where low oxygen burn rate is actually faster than your speed is actually faster with low oxygen burn rate because of the efficiency, because of the drag reduction, than high oxygen burn rate and pulling really hard. And in that overlap area is zone 2, zone 1, zone 2, and it's really amazing the difference. I was really enjoying that swim, and today was the first day that I didn't use even UCAN, and I got up and I had a small bowl of hemp cereal, which is carby, but I had it with coconut milk, and then I'd gotten to the point where to swim like I've been swimming, I would need to stop and take sips on Gatorade and sugary stuff. And today I was kind of like I had that coconut milk and some hemp cereal at around 5 a.m. and then I'm leaving to go to the pool at 5:45, and I'm thinking, I'm ready to take my UCAN, and I'm like, I don't want to. I'm kind of full. I don't need to.
So then I'm swimming along, but I didn't take any fuel with me, and I'm swimming along, and I'm having a great swim. And of course, when I finished, I had I'm eating it right now, half of an Amarita bar. I'll eat the other half after I get out of the car. And I was just like, wow, holy crap. I'm swimming super aerobically efficient, relaxed, not needing any sugary stuff, so I'm not pouring sugar all over my teeth. And it's a challenge, it's fun. I guess you get a dopamine kind of release and some kind of endorphin release from the challenge of doing something different. And all without fueling or needing any extra fuel. You're fueling, because I had a little bit of breakfast, but not needing extra fuel to keep going, which is really, really cool. So what that leads me to the next thing is talking about flow. So I found a really cool way to achieve Zen flow. It's really neat. Is mountain biking with Kai and Emily yesterday. We went about an hour and a half, and I've done the same route. And actually, it takes me maybe an hour if I go by myself at my own pace. But because going with Kai and Emily's on a totally rigid bike. I'm on a full suspension, not full. I'm on a front suspension 29er. Emily's on an old Raleigh, and Kai is on a front suspension bike. But it's Kai, so he's not crazy fast or anything. And I found, so I needed to slow down so that we have a nice time together, family time. And I found that staying in just slightly too big of a gear and trying not to use the brakes very much. Mountain biking is up and down and side to side, so it's a constant challenge of surging to get over lumps and twists because you're constantly decelerating. And I found that if you stay in just slightly too big of a gear, then you tend to want to use your momentum and gentle pressure to regain speed or keep your speed. And the challenge of that is really fun. And about halfway through the mountain bike ride, I was like, this is just, wow, this is amazing. And when we finished, and also trying to keep pedaling, just tried to not stop pedaling, with very gentle pressure on the pedals, and kind of like you're riding a fixie. And it was just amazing. When we finished, I felt just like this state of like bliss. That was really neat. And that was yesterday morning, and all day, all evening, all night, still today, I've been wanting to go back and do just that. I've been wanting to get on my mountain bike and just ride around my neighborhood and pedal like that. Like the super gentle pressure. Always a little bit of pressure leaning forward, kind of like the whole lean. Hello, I'm back. Okay. Sorry, got a call from Emily. And the state of Zen flow and the addictiveness of that leaning into it. So I found myself, I was running errands in town Sunday afternoon, and I found myself wanting to drive like that, just a gentle push and a glide, and just kind of leaning into everything and gently going around corners, but without letting up on the pressure. And then I found myself wanting to just do everything all day like that, like doing your tasks and your errands and your whatever is just slightly leaning forward into it, and just gentle pressure moving forward, and leaning into the resistance gently. And that's like a way to go through life, or at least a day, and then take a break, and then do it for a day, and then take a break. And then you get way more done because you're leaning into it, but also you're in a trance kind of Zen flow state because it's a bit of a challenge and it's fun. And so that's it. All right, I got to get into W to the ERK. Out. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in for this latest episode. It's been a lot of fun. I know the show was a long time in the making, and that's because just a lot of stuff going on, like I said, and actually not much racing while I let my feet heal up. It's kind of, in a weird way, it's depressing being injured because you want to work out, but you can't, so then you don't know what to do with yourself. So it's like, why even try? You know, and finding the energy to do what you used to do is a little bit tough. But I stuck through it, and I got that show out. And also, you just got to, man, the zen of everything is don't believe in your feelings. Just keep sticking to what you know works, and things will pass. The saying is, this too shall pass. And it did. And my feet are getting better. And I foresee in the near future signing up for something. Everybody keeps asking me, what's your next race? There are no races that I'm signing up for until my feet are healed. Not even a 5K. Nothing. And that's because I've learned about myself. I will injure myself training for something if it's on the schedule. And I need to have nothing on the schedule, and that way I can allow myself to heal. But the thing we do have, but my whole point is I foresee in the very near future me being healed up enough where we can start planning on the next race very soon. And what will that be? I don't know, man. I miss ultra running. I don't know if I'm going to be in time to do the Rocky Raccoon this year. That would be, that might be out of my wheelhouse right now. But that's a 50-mile trail run. But, man, I go out and run. I have a blast when I do run. I just have to run really easy and no hills right this moment. But let's see. Next podcast, we already have recorded an interview with Cecilia. Let's see. Was Cecilia Davis Hayes? Let me make sure I got her name right. Where'd it go? Oh, my God. Let me type it in because I know it's in here. How did that go away? Cecilia Davis Hayes. Cecilia Davis Hayes won the Austin 70.3. No, she didn't win it. She got second, but as an age grouper. And she announced during the recording that she's going to go pro. So we'll find out for sure if she actually is going to go that way next year. And it's a really cool interview. She's a PhD student and at Columbia, and has balancing a lot of different stuff. Lives in New York City, and has just an amazing talent for endurance stuff. Is a former pro cyclist, and how do you balance all that and get work done? And you got to let some things go. So how do you pick which one's the most important? And we talk about all that stuff. It's a really good interview. I'm very excited about getting that out there. All right, that's it. Everybody stay safe out there. Work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down out.
And then they basically went out of business 2 different times.
Mm-hmm. They cannot run a freaking motorcycle company to save their lives. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's a complicated motorcycle. It's like a freaking basic.
Is it? I don't know.
No, it's just a freaking. It's nothing. It's just a freaking. It's the simplest motorcycle that exists. So how could you ruin? How could you not run it as a business?
I don't know, but they did a bad job and they went out of business. They've had multiple owners. So Polaris bought Indian, the brand.
That's right. Polaris is they know their shit.
And Polaris, they have Victory, and they've got all, of course, the ATVs and the snowmobiles.
Yeah.
So they took the design of they kind of, I feel like they captured the spirit of the Indian Chief cruiser.
Yeah.
But they did it with all this new technology and a great motor, a great engine. And so it's like a red with tan leather saddlebags with the leather fringe.
You got fringe now?
Oh, shit, yeah.
You've lost it. Do you have a whip? Do you have the freaking whip? The chain whip thing they keep?
No, I don't have that.
Oh, okay.
Do I need that?
Well, that's a thing that it's to hit a car that gets too close to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen it on some motorcycles. Like dudes that ride around with ape hangers and Harley gangs. They have kind of like this whip thing, and you're like, "What the fuck is that?" And they're like, "It's a braided whip."
Every other time I've seen an Indian motorcycle, the person riding it is a male who's over 70.
Yeah. Well, okay, so how big is the engine? What cc is it?
It's a 1600
Oh, yeah.
cc. It's a
Well, it's
V
probably a
twin.
heavy bike, so it's got to have a big engine on it.
Very, it's
V-twin.
like 800. It's like 850-pound bike.
Is it you said it's a V twin.
Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly what that means. Don't ask.
The pistons go like that in a V?
Yes.
You can have a parallel twin.
It's a V
I'm trying
twin.
to think, a parallel twin's kind of a shitty. It's kind of bouncy. A V twin is like that, and longitudinal V twin means that the pistons point towards the rear and front wheels, kind of.
That's what it is.
And then you'll notice a BMW has the twins oppositional twin piston.
Yeah, that was my last bike.
Stick out.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a Honda one time that had a V twin, but sideways, lateral. Anyway, a V twin where if you gave it gas, it would torque the bike to the side, which is actually kind of fun. Is it a chain drive or a shaft drive?
Belt, I think.
Oh, belt. Okay, yeah. That's really low maintenance. Shaft drive is too. A belt, lighter weight, low maintenance.
Yeah. I know nothing about mechanics or the part. I just saw the bike and that looks amazing.
You'll learn a lot.
I rented one for a weekend in Colorado and went for a ride. And 10 years ago, I had a BMW, a K12 RS. It was that was a 1200 cc. That was a horizontal. Yeah, that was a horizontal. Yeah,
Subarus are the same way.
And I rode that across the country. Dude, I love riding motorcycles. I just love it. It's unbelievable. Don't you think?
Yeah, totally.
What do you think's more dangerous, riding a bicycle or riding a motorcycle?
I think riding a motorcycle is more dangerous.
What makes you say that?
I had a Honda VFR, which is a V4, 750 V4. I sold that for cash to buy a bike because I got into riding road bikes and was covering as much distance on my road bike on the weekend as I was riding on my motorcycle. Because I would spend way more time on the bicycle, but it's as dangerous, but you're gaining in health. And motorcycle, you're not gaining in health, and it's just as dangerous riding a bicycle. So you might as well ride a bicycle and at least get a workout out of it.
Yeah, I look at when I go out on my motorcycle, I've got Kevlar jeans, I've got a jacket that is fully armored out. I've got a full face helmet. That helmet is substantial. And no Ford F-350 diesel is going to buzz me on my motorcycle. Now, intersections are a problem, right? Intersections is where you're going to run into issues. Problem. People can't see you, and you're traveling at a higher speed. So, but you are also kind of a little bit protected. With a bike, you're out there basically with let's face it, a bicycle helmet is nothing. It's horseshit.
Yeah, it's a cooler. You should keep a 6-pack in, maybe. Same amount of styrofoam.
Correct. This little tiny piece of styrofoam on the top of your head like a beanie. It does nothing for your chin, your nose, your face, nothing. And you're wearing basically spandex with no armor, and you're traveling so much slower than traffic, they're constantly passing you and buzzing you. I don't know. I mean, would love to statistically see if somebody would ever dig in to see what is actually more dangerous. Because I was kind of interesting. Aaron Webster, of all people, when I got my motorcycle, was horrified. And as sweet a person as he is, get the whole Canadian thing going on, he was being very judgy. And this is one-on-one. This is not for public benefit or to break balls. He was being very judgmental. How could you even do that? You're a father. Kind of almost a how dare you? How could you do that? It's what? That is so dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it was made out of puppy blood or something.
Right. Yeah. And there is some risk to it. I get it. But I don't know that it's that much more risky than going out for a 60-mile bike ride on Sunday morning. If you're going out for a 2-hour motorcycle ride on Sunday morning, or you're going out for a 2-hour bicycle ride on Sunday morning, which one's more dangerous? I don't know that we know.
My big problem was intersections. That's where I found myself slowing down to the point I was holding up traffic behind me because I was worried about getting hit. Some dumbass going through an intersection, crossing, and then And a Honda VFR is like a race bike, So I'm on that thing on a bike that can outpace 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, top speed of 180 miles an hour. And I got a Ford Escort behind me, honking its horn, going, "Come on, dude," And I'm like, well, if somebody pulls out in front of me at this intersection, I'm freaking mincemeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, that's a cool bike, man.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Sweet. I still got my license, man. I'll take it for a spin.
There you go. Well, you could ride my bike, Brett. Can I be on the back of it, holding your stomach?
Yeah, we can Photoshop.
Can we ride around on the motorcycle, each of us shirtless, gripping each other?
I'm trying to think of something to add on to that, and I think you've covered it.
I feel like I'm not a very good guest. So far, all I did was talk about Sutton, blowjobs, Trump, Clinton, and now motorcycles. All things none of your audience cares about.
Maybe. But it's time for one of those shows.
Well, dude, I got to go put my clothes in the dryer.
All right.
Good hang, brother. Thank you.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you later. I was trying to record. The moment I try to record in this house, Kona starts barking. Kai comes in and starts banging around in there, flushing. Okay. But I haven't put out a podcast forever because I can't find a freaking place to record anymore. Yes.